Hello, beautiful earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. There will be 3 individual readings for you each, one for each of you, timestamp right down below if you want to hop right to it. Stick around for the disclaimer, which is that these are general messages here on YouTube. Not everything I say will resonate with every single one of you out there. Highly advise you come into these readings with an open heart and an open mind. If it's not your message, please do push it aside. Assume it's going out to someone else. Don't take action on things that are strange or foreign. Give yourself the luxury of time. It might make sense later. But yeah, I hope lots and lots of this resonates. Pieces and parts of it very likely will. But you are always in the driver's seat. I am a tarot reader who believes in free will. So let's do it. Let's try and have some fun. Early warning, these have been very deep, dare I even say possibly profound messages. These are not my little sips mini love tarots where it's like, ooh, I got a crush on this one or that one. It's deeper than that. This is predominantly about the self and what's been holding us back because it's Scorpio season, right? Which is about essentially death and rebirth, the phoenix from the ashes. I'm going to be using that symbolism a lot. So this is really kind of looking into our individual skeletons in the closet and being like, all right, let's pull it out and look at it and actually deal with it. That is probably going to be the theme of these messages. So if you're down to roll with it, let's do it. I'm excited. I'm here for it. And if not, I'll see you on the next one. I'll do love messages again later, I promise. But yeah, everything else down in the box below. How to contact me for a personal, just shoot me an email. The decks I'm using here today, my social media, check all that out if you are interested. Other than that, let's hop into your tarot readings. What's good, Capricorn? How you doing? How you been? Welcome. Happy to have you guys. You guys have a November monthly tarot reading to check out as well as a bonus reading. I'll be honest with you, the bonus reading is a little bit heavy. It's a little bit deep, but it actually got really positive feedback from a good amount of people. So I think that means it resonated with a majority of Capricorns out there, which is great. So check that out if you're interested. And if not, let's do your tarot reading here. So Capricorn, messages they need to hear. Tail end of Scorpio season. All right, let's do it. Decisions about transformation. Well, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? All right. Yeah, when I was shuffling, I saw that 5 of Cups, and I was like, ooh, what's that about? So let's figure that out. All right. Yeah, I think this is probably, I'm not saying the messages are going to be identical, but I can kind of tell there's a little bit of difficult energy here. So that's why I'm here. Let's work through it. Let's be solution-oriented. Bottom of the deck is the Lovers. So yeah, very likely has to do with a counterpart in your life. Now it could be a business partner. I have to be honest, just my gut intuition says this is about the person that you love or the person who you're falling in love with or out of love with. So yeah, and that's sort of what the last message was too. You have a decent amount of kind of 4s and 5s. So that says to me, do we continue to go? Like if you're currently like plateauing in a relationship, whether it's good or bad, it doesn't have to be, end of the world tragedy. In fact, your ending card is quite positive. FYI, I do like seeing that as where are you going? Practical steps to the future, right? You have a positive ending card, but yeah, I'm sort of sensing you guys may have plateaued or you've reached like an awkward point where there's a difference of opinion or something. And it's like you're really having trouble navigating your way out of it into smooth sailing. So yeah, the messages are already kind of here for me, but let's dig deeper into this. So any 5 in tarot, most of my viewers know I repeat the same messages because they keep coming up. Any 5 in tarot is awkward. It's uncomfortable, but they're agents of change and chaos to get us to grow spiritually, financially, romantically, whatever it is. But this is a card of like 5 of Pentacles, so it can indicate difficulties with money or pentacles, right? So money type things, earthly things, your stability. It can even be a bout of sickness with your body. Pentacles can be anything you can kind of reach out and touch here in the 3D. So yeah, it probably has to do with an awkward relationship where the person who's really needy feels like they're being left behind, like they're not being seen by, the mother. There could also symbolically be a parent-child dynamic to this relationship, or maybe the responsible one, I wonder who that is, Capricorn, may feel like they're doing all the heavy work and their person is just being kind of dragged behind. And that can happen too, because Capricorns, you naturally step up to the plate. Like you want to do your job, and not only that, you want to do it well. So you don't have time to be like, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? Like you're not typically needy. I would not associate that type of energy with Capricorn. So then by default, sometimes in your kind of spiritual path, it will be one of your life lessons to learn to ask for help or to delegate responsibilities or to help your partner step up, because ultimately it's a two-way street, right? So if anything, I'm feeling like some of my Capricorns may be struggling with a person who, for better or worse, they're hobbling along on their crutches, right? It might not be necessarily their own fault. It could be that if you're the only person in the household that has money, you may be kind of supporting them while they are out of work or out of commission or however you want to say it, right? But so under that, you have a very strong card. So that's what I mean. I don't necessarily think this is a death sentence of, chuck them out the window. They're not doing good for you. It's about learning, like, how do we get past this awkward phase? Because it's uncomfortable and I don't really want to talk about it, but I'm not happy. There's wish fulfillment there. So if that's your goal, it's saying, well, you know how to get out of this, right? But yeah, I think at minimum, it's acknowledging, this is weird. We got to figure this out with the lover. Now, again, I'm telling you what I've told everybody. You can view this through any lens you want if it fits for you. So if this is a career spread with your boss or your business partner, sure, take it and run with it. If this has to do with your family and family drama and a parent-sibling dynamic or whatever, sure, take it. I'm probably going to read it through the lens of love because that's what I'm sort of being called to do. But again, if it's not your story, push it aside. I promise it's going out to someone else who needs to hear it. Okay, Capricorn? So we're waiting for that moment where we're waiting for like the light bulb moment, the aha moment. This is frequently a card of Pisces or Neptune energy. I think ultimately, this spread, I'm going to make it about you, but know that you can switch the energies. This is kind of a daydreamy energy of, oh, wouldn't it be nice if, like the Beach Boys song, wouldn't it be nice, right? Wouldn't it be nice if this wasn't always the case, if we weren't always at each other's throats, if you actually could step up and get a job? But the thing is, there's no practical steps being taken here because someone needs to essentially come into the realization that in order to get to the next chapter in our life, which, 12 to 13, the death card, the ending, Phoenix from the ashes, right? Something not only needs to transform in the situation, something needs to be released. Something needs to be let go. That could be a person, right? If you're at the point where they're just not doing anything in the relationship that is supporting you in your dreams and whatever, then sure, maybe it's the person being sacrificed. That, right? Not literally, Capricorn. I think for most of you, this has to do with what can you sacrifice in terms of your, not responsibilities. What's a good word for it? Expectations. That's the perfect word for it. Because I think this is asking you to maybe give a little on the nitpickiness of, the dishes have to be done immediately after dinner. Every Sunday we vacuum the carpets. Like little things like that where it's not really going to make or break the relationship. Sure, it would be nice. Like I'm almost wanting to say #goals. It's great to have that list of, in my idealized version of a perfectly functioning couple, this happens and then this and you do this and I do that. And the thing is, I'm not saying that you're being egotistical or big-headed. I think you very much want equal division or this or that, but there may actually be areas where it's not equal because maybe you're wanting to take on too much of the work and it's almost like self-sabotaging subconsciously because you're not letting your partner step up and help you. And so I know for some of you, you're like, that's not true, but it might be true in other aspects of the relationship. I just want you to consider that message because it's very noble to want to take care of your person, but I think by default, you may be enabling them to not totally take care of themselves, even solving all their problems for them. And, I don't know the degree of this relationship, whether you guys are just dating, whether you're an old married couple, whatever. The message remains the same, is that you may be stepping up to do too much work, and by default, you're kind of denying them the very valuable lessons they need to learn about themselves, And again, I want to reinstate, no matter what age or a stage this relationship is in. So this is the thing. I'm almost getting High Priestess vibes with this Two of Swords, which is inner knowing and intuition. And, that's why she wears the blindfold, right? Because she doesn't need the visual clues of how do I solve this problem? She's at a crossroads mentally, right? This way or that way. How do we solve the problem? But because I instantly am feeling High Priestess, it says you already know. So this illumination or this epiphany of how do we solve the problem? And wouldn't it be nice if they did this? And wouldn't it be nice if that changed? It's ironically, I used the word problem solving when we first started this reading. And the thing is, I think deep down, you guys kind of already know the solution. And I'm not using that as a cop-out. I'm here for your tarot reading and I'm going to go through. But I'm giving you advance notice that this probably won't be a huge epiphany or revelation. I think at minimum, there's particularly one matter you guys are very much at odds with. Family, kids, where to move, fill in the blank. There particularly one issue, though there may be several, But the thing is, the solution you already know, and for most of you, it's that somebody has to give a little bit. And I am by no means saying, throw all your wishes and dreams out the window. I would never tell you to do that, Capricorn. That's not how I read cards, right? Ultimately, your purpose here on Earth is to live out your purpose and your soul purpose. But isn't it nice when you can do that with other people that you love? Absolutely, right? Universe has no problem with that. Universe loves that. But you both need to be, what is a good word for it? Grounded and rooted in the earth yourself, I guess, before you start mixing it up with other people, because you don't want to have to sacrifice too much of your spiritual path. And I don't even love the way I phrase that, because ultimately, yes, it's about you, but again, it's a two-way street. So if you're going to sacrifice just a little bit, your person has to as well. And I think that's really the solution, is that both of you are literally at odds. I'm almost getting like a standoff, a showdown, like drawer, like that kind of thing. But there's communication will also fix this problem. That's not a revelation. That's not an epiphany. But I am almost getting somebody talks over the other every time you try and express a point. The other person's like, no, and like they interrupt you. To be honest, Capricorn, that might actually be you doing that. So just be aware, right? Be a good listener as well as an advocate for yourself. And again, with all, you have a good amount of things indicating 4 to me, which is not bad. 4 is like the safety zone, the comfort zone, but you're over the honeymoon stage of, I love you and they love me and this and that. And it's like, okay, we've done this for a bit, like what next? And maybe someone is refusing to talk about what next. Maybe somebody isn't in a spot, again, financially maybe, to have that conversation of what next, because maybe they're barely scraping by, right? And again, I'm thinking maybe that's your person, but all right, let's look into this a little bit more. There's also an element of jealousy here, and I don't think it has to do with anything between you and your partner. I think it has to do with, these are very opposite cards. Looking around and seeing other people in your life having engagement parties, or having babies, or buying the new house, or getting the promotion, where somebody in this dynamic is seeing things around and comparing themselves, right? Even if it's not jealousy, it's the sense of, why isn't that mine? Like I'm working my ass off, I'm kicking ass, and yet things are not transforming for me. Well, then again, the answer may already be within you. And I want to give you more on that, but I'm struggling with what the universe is trying to say. And maybe it's because it's different for everyone. It's not a one solution fixes all, but I am seeing, there's something very important. Like this was just literally like kind of screaming at me at my decks over here. I have a whole bunch of decks on the side. You're seeing other people being celebrated, or other people getting recognition, or other people just in a different stage of their life where things are growing and thriving, or whatever. You just see like people around you celebrating. And I think there's this lackluster, like, why aren't we like that? Like, we used to be fun. What happened? I immediately want to say they're at a different stage than you are. You're not there yet. If anything, you may be past this. This feels, because it's almost like 3, right? And you're at the 4. I'm almost saying it's new and it's fresh to them. So of course they're living their best life. They're in the Cinderella story. They're in the honeymoon stage of this. But then they're going to plateau too. They're going to reach a 4, which is not bad. 4s are necessary in all of our journeys, right? And just because you're there now doesn't mean you're going to be in 6 months or whatever it is, right? So, I mean, it's the age-old thing. Don't compare yourself to others. It's just not worth it, Capricorn. All right, give me one on this, please. In your past, I'm hearing the word cozy. Everything felt just right. Or there was a very, very strong support coming from family and friends. And quite frankly, this could just be the idea of being able to see family and friends all the time. You had a nice, cozy little network where people were able to engage and interact and rely on each other. And it almost felt like it was a tiny room with a lot of people, but it was all your favorite people. And just given what's going on globally, we don't have that right now. Most of us don't anyway, right? It's been very isolated. And so I think that's why this marriage or this relationship is really being tested, because it feels like, in metaphor, it's just the two of you going through this. There isn't that third party buffer to be like, hey guys, like, can't we all be friends? Can't we all get along? So whether that was grandma or the kids or this or that, maybe the kids are off at college and they're there, whatever it is, right? The network has diminished. I don't know why I'm using that word, but it's what came to mind. The tribe has gotten smaller, and I do think it's symbolic of universe holding a magnifying glass to just the two of you. Like, I think, again, I'm using the word hashtag goals, which is so cheesy, I know, but I actually love it. I think, again, it's this idea of looking around you and, oh, look how nice it worked out for mom. Look how nice it worked out for, my brother and they're engaged and this and that. They got their promotions. Again, there's something, I think there's a lot of competition within the family, which I know you're probably not going to admit, because Capricorns are very much family people, family man, family woman, right? And so it's not that there's jealousy per se, but there's self-comparison. There's like, why don't I have what they have? Like, I went to college and they didn't. I should, but again, universe is saying this is not about focusing on the others. This is about the zoom in and focusing on just the two of you. Really, ultimately tarot cards want to tell you about you, but so much of this does feel like it has to do with a relationship, because quite literally these knights are going in opposite directions. So you might be dealing with a fire sign here, right? And again, that's not a death sentence to this relationship, but I'm curious to see where this goes. So yeah, in the past, things were good. Things were solid. And it's like I'm seeing like unthreading, unraveling. Something is unraveling here. Somebody could have gone through something very major in a family dynamic. Maybe you lost a matriarch or a patriarch. I'm almost getting like an elderly person, if that makes any sense, Capricorn. Give me... the past is in the past, so I am not going to linger on it too much. Yeah, there could have been... Gosh, I'm getting quite a literal message here of the passing of... I am thinking an elderly, but it doesn't have to be. And then the what do you call it? The inheritance. I don't know how else to read that, Capricorn. So if that makes sense to you, again, it could have been that somebody helped you out with a significant loan or paid off debt, or maybe you did that for another family member. And maybe that was the crux of an argument you had with your partner. Is like, why would you give your mother that sum of money and not consult me? And, it's my mother. You can't tell me whatever, right? Something about that is occurring in the past. But the thing is, for you, I don't think this was strained. I think this was either you offering some money or you receiving it. And again, by your own accord. So this was not a stress for you, but it may have had to do with your person. I don't know. Anyway, again, this is saying, let me look around and see what needs to change. And universe is saying, don't look around, look within. Do you see the blindfold? And then quite literally, he's upside down to change his perspective on things. I think that's been you trying to solve this issue, but universe, again, I'm just sort of getting, you already know the solution. It just might not be... I think if anything, it has to do with something internally inside you, Capricorn, that does need to change. And again, like, these are the deep, heavy messages. It's probably something you don't want to change or you're very fixed on, right? Because it's comfortable to stay the same. It's uncomfortable to have to change a part of you that maybe it is, I'm almost wanting to say an underdeveloped muscle. It's not that it's not there. It's not that it doesn't work. But in metaphor, if it has to do with, I don't know, Capricorn, fill in the blank. I'm giving you one example. Being a little bit more warm and fuzzy to your person, separating work life and home life, right? Not bringing your work home with you and being, I love you, babe, but on your laptop, that kind of thing. One example, right? It could be something else. You're aware of it, but you're like, but you can justify why staying the same works for you. And I think universe is just saying, really though? Like, are we sure? That's all I'm saying, right? And I said the same thing to Scorpio. When I do Scorpio and Capricorn in particular, both your signs, I always err with caution. I'm like, don't shoot the messenger. And so I have to do right by me in saying, that's really what the message is saying. So if you don't want to take it, that's fine. But if you are looking to really understand, well, why isn't this working? And if your heart is in it to transform this relationship into something else, universe is saying, look within. What is it you have to change about yourself? It's not saying you have to change your appearance. It's not saying you have to change your job. It's not saying you have to change your morals, your ethics, your values. Those are off. If they're off guard for you, like if they're untouchable, okay, that's your truth. I'm not here to change that. But it's asking you why then? Why is that untouchable? Why are we not allowed to talk about that part of you? Because it's sensitive, right? Because maybe it was a source of pain in the past. It was a wound. Maybe it was a childhood wound. Maybe you were always attacked about that one thing about your personality. And so anytime someone comes into romance, you're like, let's talk about everything except that. It's like, no, that's me. That's like, you're not allowed to comment or criticize me on that. And the thing is, I don't get that from your person. I don't think your person is a nag. I think your person is sweet and mushy, but again, I think if anything, There's something about you tend to attract people, Capricorn, who are sweet and mushy and lovey-dovey. Ooh, this is deep. Are you ready for this? Because maybe there's a part of you that lacks that. And again, not entirely. Of course you're sweet and lovely and caring. I know you are. You're Capricorn. But it may be an underdeveloped muscle. Do you understand? Like, you need to work it out, quite literally. And so even universe, if we want to zoom out and look at, God, source, spirit, may usher in people into your life so that you can learn something about yourself via the way they do things, right? And vice versa, Capricorn. You bring a lot to the table, right? So maybe you're attracting people who they need to learn those skills and qualities from you. And, whether you choose to pursue things with them long term or not, there's absolutely something valuable to be gained there. But in a way, this person is also throwing obstacles and challenges at you, right? There's a mountain between them. But who can conquer the mountain? Probably the mountain goat, right? You, Capricorn, right? So yes, you can do it yourself. You can rush in and save your person and fix all the things you don't like. But if they're not meeting you halfway, then I'm almost wanting to say it's not a fair fight. It's not worth your time. If they're constantly slacking and dragging and complaining and you're not doing this right, then that's not your person, right? You need to equally motivate each other to change and again, grow and develop. As well as kind of be your cheerleader and give you the compliments and pats on the back and kind of shower you with love, right? That's what we want in a romantic relationship. Ain't nothing wrong with that, as long as you don't require it to feel good about yourself. Again, being able to stand on your own 2 feet and feel proud and love yourself and like yourself, that's the bare minimum. If you can't do that, then you're probably not going to succeed in relationships. I'm just putting it out there, right? So maybe this is a time to work on yourself internally, right? Again, dragging out that shadow side and looking it in the mirror and stop giving it power of, I'm afraid of this part of me, or I'm afraid to talk about this, or I'm vulnerable, or I'm sensitive. No, let's talk about that. Like, that's what the universe is trying to get you to see in Scorpio season. Water signs, right? Deep, deep, deep. So that we can transform it, so that we can change it, so that it's not holding you back anymore. It may have to do with work. It may have to do with, not dividing your time equally. I feel like some of you are definitely dealing with a Pisces. Not everybody, right? But, all right, so then what's this going on? In your highest vibration, this is how I've been explaining it to all the zodiac signs, when you are firing on all cylinders and making decisions with intelligence but honoring your intuition, when you are the highest vibrational Capricorn you can be, your highest mind knows this to be true. You are the Knight of Wands, right? Which again, that's very interesting, because this is not a card I would instantly say, Capricorn, you're dealing with a Capricorn. I think, again, hashtag goals. The universe wants to remind you it's okay to play. It's okay to have fun. It's okay to throw yourself into something that you're very passionate about. And, I'm almost getting the opposite message. The Knight of Wands is the player, the Casanova. It's Sagittarian energy. So maybe if any of you have strong Sag, particularly moon rising, universe is saying, let's utilize that. Maybe this is the underdeveloped muscle. That's what I'm going to say. It's there. You can use it, but it's all like you have to enhance it by working on it more, right? You guys get my metaphor? This is the player Knight. He likes to quite literally have fun and go on adventures and do silly things and remember to laugh. And again, if he's with a person and it's not quite right, he doesn't see it as his responsibility. That's more Capricorn, right? It's not his responsibility to stay and fix that person. He's there to provide warmth and entertainment and enjoy the environment and setting. And if it gets dull, he's like, all right, well, that was fun. Next adventure. And I'm not necessarily saying he's the most responsible Knight. He's not. And obviously you need to flex the muscle of responsibility that you have to the degree you feel comfortable with. But essentially this is saying fun and games are okay too. In fact, it might be the missing piece to the puzzle of what this relationship is lacking. So the thing is, Capricorn, to me anyway, this is just my interpretation, right? One tarot reader out of 1,000. This is good. This is great advice, because it's not that difficult to have fun. Or is it? I don't know. Maybe it is for you, right? Again, I don't know your history. I don't know your childhood, but it's like if both people need to contribute something to this relationship, what you're being asked to contribute is to spend more time having fun. It's not saying you need to go out and get a job and do this and do that, because it's like you're already checking off the major boxes. This is like the cherry on the sundae, right? This is what's going to make this relationship really thrive and all the bells and whistles. just have more fun. Like, that's literally the Knight of Wands. If it's dull, why are you staying in it? And so I think it's asking you about this relationship. Is this a relationship that's built on fun and passion in addition to, you know, the many other necessities? Or are you staying because it looks good on paper? Are you staying because, well, I've been with them for 10 years, so what else? Are you committing yourself to something where there's really no passion in it? Again, highest vibrational, you Capricorn, right? Your, your intuition, your angel guides, your angel gang, whatever you believe in. They're saying, are you having fun? What are you passionate about? Who are you passionate about? That is the solution to your problem once you figure out the answer to those questions. Toil and labor, I'm almost thinking of, I'm hearing like fiddling away the time. Again, like it does have to do with I'm doing it because I'm here, but my mind isn't here. I'm here physically, but my mind is elsewhere. And again, that has to do with the solution to this problem. Why are we here? Are we enjoying it? And I get if this has to do with a job. Maybe it does. Maybe you've been stuck in a job and again, you see it as your responsibility to earn all the income. But what if there's this dream job that you've put on the back burner because you have to support your partner, but universe is saying, what? Where's the fun? Like, why aren't we going after the career of your dreams? Like, the Knight of Wands would be like, that? Oh, I'm going after it. Like, hell-bent. Like, it's like, oh, this is for me because I'm passionate about it, so I'm going towards it. So, again, I'm not saying you up and leave your Capricornian type vibe to be the Knight of Wands always, but he does serve a purpose, and the purpose is fun and passion and energy. Yeah, this could even direct me to possibly saying, have you developed unhealthy lifestyles because you're not in movement enough? If you're sitting away at a laptop day in and day out, are you exercising, right? Fire, energy, movements, travel, that kind of thing. Are you too comfortable in the safety zone in your house? Do you venture out? Do you go on adventures? Do you see new places? Do you travel? Are you stuck in a very... I'm almost wanting to say traditional headspace, but again, for the wrong reasons. It has nothing to do with because I enjoy it. It's because I think it's correct. All right, just putting it out there. I know, it's sensitive. I can tell you Capricorn's like, whoa now. Whoa now. All right, well, I'll give you a little bit of insight a piece at a time so it's easily digestible. But, you know, let's get better, right? Scorpio season, let's burn out what isn't working. Let's tower vibe this shit and then rebuild it properly. So, what in the highest vibration, what does the Knight of Wands want to go after? Oh, I want to use that deck. Blending of opposites. So, yeah, a lot of you maybe with, someone who... You balance each other out, but because of that opposites attract type vibe, you also know exactly what to say to get under the other person's skin. Because you don't agree on everything, but again, that doesn't mean you have to, you know, jump overboard, abandon ship. There's something holding this together. I can tell this, you've plateaued. That's what this is. Six of Pentacles, reciprocity. Exactly. You get what you give. You, Capricorn, may need to give a little bit more time, a little bit more energy or effort into simply enjoying life. That's it. That's all you have to do, right? Like, from my perspective, right? I mean, it may differ in the details a little bit, but activity, play, honor your inner child, go on adventures, right? Play dress up. I don't know, you know, make your sex life more interesting. Something like that, right? I'm sure your person, I can already tell your person. In fact, let's do that. What is Capricorn's person being asked to step up and do? I can already tell. I think it has to do with your person being more responsible, growing up a little, being less, I think, because this is probably the person you married, because you're attracted to, they're fun and they're different and they shake things up and it's exciting, but you also at the core need someone who can support you as well, physically, emotionally, whatever, financially. But I think you've been giving them a lot of leeway because essentially you're a cardinal sign, so you like to lead, whether you're male or female, right? It's important to you to be able to support yourself. And again, that's an amazing quality. Don't go changing to try and please me, Capricorn. I think your person, though, is lacking in that department or something where, again, they need that little earth energy. The support, the practicality, the long-term goals, longevity. Interesting. Page of Cups. So your person may owe you an apology. Pouting. I'm seeing your person pouting. So holding things against you, again, you're probably with fire or water. I actually have no air sign. So you might be dealing with an air sign, but I don't think they're showing up in your spread. But, if it makes sense, take it and run with it. I think your person is moody or pouty. It's like if they don't get their way, they don't come out and say it. They just do like, oh, I'm fine. I don't want to talk about it. And you're like, but I know, tell me, what is wrong? What did I do? Because I honestly don't know. Your person needs to advocate for themselves more. Yeah, the immaturity of your person, we're done with that. If you're in a relationship and you're there to stay, this person needs to change their ways of emotional immaturity. It has nothing to do with, let's just go for a walk. What the hell? It'll be fun. Let's go get lost in the woods. That's great. I think that's what this relationship needs. It's more to do with the immaturity of not saying how they really feel. That needs to change, especially for those who are with a Scorpio. It's saying this person is too closed off. It's never going to work if they don't learn to be vulnerable, or holding grudges, if they don't learn to forgive. I am getting emotional immaturity. Again, that's their underdeveloped muscle. They need to flex it. They need to utilize it more in order for it to grow and function. And it's almost like catch up with the rest of the body. I think both of you in metaphor have a piece of part of you where it's there. We just haven't really used it enough to make it again, work with the rest of it, and it's impacting your relationship. So to me, again, this is saying you both have a little bit of work to do on yourself. Again, you are not excluded from this message. Go within. It's not about changing your person. It's about changing something in you where it's like, yeah, I've been avoiding it because I don't like to talk about it. Or I think even subconsciously, some of you have decided, well, that's a part of me that's never going to change. So they need to adapt to meet my standards. And okay, but you're going to keep having this problem. Go within, Capricorn. I promise it will be worth it. I do think your person likes you a lot. I do. All right, so let's see. Coming up in your goals, and it's like, let's get the water running again. Let's get this fresh. Exactly, right? If we were looking at this as everybody else is celebrating things around me, why am I not? You want to move on to be at a different level. You want to move on to other things in life where you're able to celebrate and feel a sense of pride and accomplishment. And again, that's beautiful. That's amazing. I also think that there's a fear that you're going to have to move away from this person to reach this level of fun again. And I don't think that's the case if you're willing to do the work on yourself, right? I think anybody who approaches tarot in a sense that I'm perfect, there's nothing to change about me, that's not what tarot is for. So if you're watching this reading and you're at all willing to acknowledge there might be something here, both people in this situation are flawed. They're not perfect. And nobody's perfect. No one will ever be perfect because none of us are godly. Do you understand what I mean? Oh my God, I'm not going to share that story with you. Anyway, we're going to pass that story by. Anyway, I had a personal thing, but it's not appropriate to share. Anyway, okay, so hopes and dreams and wishes. If you want to reach the next level of this relationship, universe is saying, hey, I know the path. Look, it's straight ahead. You're already on the damn ship. It's just like you have to conquer the rough waters to get to the smooth sailing with your person or your boss or whoever this is showing up, your brother, your sister, whatever it is, right? But you do have to go through those rocky waters, and some of you right now are like, no, I don't. I'm comfortable here. Again, the 4, we're good, we're safe, nobody move. You have to, or else you're never going to get to this level. This is about introspection, and I think this is a long overdue message. I feel like I've been giving you similar readings for a long time, Capricorn, and we've never quite pinpointed, well, why is it, why? What is the substance behind this? It's because I think a lot of you are looking at your other person, and I don't want to say criticizing. I'm not making you out to be the bad guy. I mean, I tell you every time, I love my Capricorns. Some of my best friends are Capricorns. But this is about looking within. If you were to entirely remove the person from your life just for the sake of being, or just for the sake of argument, rather, what is it in yourself that, I'm going to ask it this way, that's do not touch. I don't want to talk about it. What is that inside of you? Is it a personality trait? Is it I don't know what it is, but universe is saying, we got to stop avoiding that. I'm hearing twiddle our thumbs. That's what I was getting with this, because it's that nervous energy of, I know it's going to come up eventually and it's a very sore topic for me, so I don't want to talk about it. It could have to do with mommy or daddy issues. It could have to do with abandonment issues. It could have to do with jealousy or comparison of a sibling where you always felt like, the little brother, the little sister, or whatever, right? Maybe you're the big brother and the big sister and all your siblings are, I don't want to say doing better than you, because again, that's all about your viewpoint. That's not the truth, but that may be how you're viewing it. What is the thing that you don't like to talk about yourself? Let's talk about it. And I don't mean here, you and me. I mean you, individually, by yourself. You have to sort through some personal issues in your life. So what do you got coming in? You got a Page of Pentacles. You got somebody who wants to build upon what has already been established with you, to get away from the comfort zone or the solid foundation, but again, lacking passion or fun or desire. I think somebody's wanting to present, and I actually love this because I think this is being presented to you, and it's your person who, as I said, they're probably, I hate to say this, Capricorn, I know you're fun. I know lots of fun Capricorns, but again, it's the underdeveloped muscle in this tarot reading, not for everyone out there. I think your person is the fun, the lighthearted, like throw caution to the wind one. Maybe, right? Okay? What they're presenting you with is like, okay, like maturity. I'm going to grow up. Let's talk about big things. Let's talk about earthly energy. Let's talk about houses. Let's talk about marriage. Let's talk about commitment. Like your person, I think, is willing to step up and do the work. That's what you have coming in if you do the work too. What is this about? At minimum, they're willing to have a talk with you about are we or aren't we. If that's something you guys have been avoiding, it might be time to sit down and do that. The assessment card, what have we built so far, and is it worth it to continue building? I think your person is open to it. I'm not sure if you are. And that's okay. I'm not here to tell you you have to do anything. Whoa, whoa, whoa. But yeah. I do want to underscore, though, there is love here. Again, this might not be your reading if you friggin' hate this person, okay? Don't shoot the messenger, but there's soulmate energy here. I think a lot of you reached a discussion about having kids, and that was a very sore topic. It's like, well, if we have kids, it's not a good time in my career. I think this is a discussion about children for a lot of you. Or if you already have children, something about the conversation about one of them or the other, that may be kind of dragging you apart, but it's like, let's come together and actually talk about this thing, because this to me is like the elephant in the room. It's like, we know it's there, but we're not talking about it. So yeah, I am wanting to say something about children. Or, I guess something that occurred in the past that really put a wedge in the relationship, which, again, you guys already know what it is. It doesn't matter what I tell you. Any confirmation? These children are kind of creepy looking, I'm not going to lie. Or at least the little boy. Do you guys see? His eyes are, like, too dark. He looks like a little demon baby. It's just making me laugh. The girl looks sweet, though. Yeah. Anyway. It's just funny. Yeah, it's not telling me much. There could have been a pregnancy scare, and especially for your person, it could have been like, oh shit, like this is actually happening. And so, the thing is, I don't think it actually did happen, but I think it raised a very important conversation, and you may have actually understood. And if you didn't before, you actually got this weird understanding of where your person stood on a certain issue, and you're like, wait a minute, what? Like, how have we never talked about this, and how have you never told me that? That's sort of what I'm getting. Yeah, a conversation that happened in the past. If it's not about children, it's quite simply a conversation, possibly with a Cancer or a Scorpio. Anyway, moving on. All right. Capricorn, this actually seems like a really cool reading. I'm not going to lie. Of all the readings I've done, this one has come together in a very, it makes sense to me kind of way. Like your last reading I did, it was all over the place. So I flat out said, I feel like there's too many energies here and I don't know who I'm reading for. This makes a lot of sense to me. So I'm sorry if it's not your reading. It won't be every time, but I would say at least consider the message, because it might be the missing link, right? If you're trying to build forward. It's funny. Okay, so this is how you view yourself. You view yourself as, I know what I want, but why do I never get it? That's how I see this energy. I think we already know why. There's an internal struggle or an internal battle or something you're quite literally blocking. It has to do with introspection will help fix this problem. And also being... Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, a card fell. I should look at that because that's probably what I'm trying to say. Being kind to yourself. setting realistic expectations. Again, keep climbing the mountain. You're going to do it anyway. And again, that's your strength. That's how you guys do things is, okay, I've reached this. Now, how do I ascend? How do I go deeper? How do I go higher? That's amazing. You guys have a lot of ambition. You guys have a lot of goals, but take it easy on yourself. That cup of love, the Knight of Cups, I think this is yourself offering yourself compassion, offering yourself love. Oh, this one hits deep. So that says to me too, some of you as a child may have felt like you didn't have the proper foundation. I'm hearing nursed. So you may have grown up with an absent parent or one parent was, I don't know if you had a parent who was emotionally manipulative or if you had a parent who just, it took a lot to garner their attention. It took a lot to get any sentiment or love out of them. And so again, subconsciously, that might be impacting your love life. But same message stands, though. This is also saying, take it easy on yourself. Like, love yourself. Look at all the things you've already accomplished. Like, you're already at 9 of Cups. So whether you realize it or not, some of the things that you've already wished and dreamed for yourself, there's physical evidence of them around you right now. And then certainly there are other things where you're like, I really want this, but I didn't get the promotion, or I didn't get this, or I didn't get the engagement ring, or I didn't get that. If you keep your vibe high and you just keep marching on with this attitude of like, well, hey, I've accomplished a lot, so this isn't where it ends. This isn't the end of my book. This isn't the end of the chapter. You're going to find more things that bring you from 9 to the 10. But do you see how the 10 of Cups, it's not here, it's in motion. The ball is in motion, but we're not here yet. So, 10 of Cups symbolically being the Cinderella story, the fairy tale ending. It's not saying you're not going to get it. Though some of you, again, you're in that state of mind that's like, oh, nothing ever works out. Like, Capricorn, I gotta be honest, this is reminding me of Eeyore, from Winnie the Pooh. It's like, well, nothing ever works out anyway. May as well stop trying. But don't give me that. Like, you're not kidding me. I know you're not going to stop trying. You cannot do that. Capricorns will not stop climbing the mountain. They may have to take a rest, and yeah, you're human, right? You may need to take some time to just kind of chill and be introspective about things before you before you work up the energy, the endurance to keep climbing, to keep ascending. You will. I always say this, just the mere fact that I'm saying you keep ascending, there's something very spiritual about Capricorns. Are you utilizing that gift you have, that connection to source, to God, to spirit? Because that's going to help show you the way. But if you are blocking the wisdom from your angel guides via this reading, via your own tarot card readings, via however you practice your spirituality, I'm not here to comment on that. But if you're feeling and seeing the messages and then talking yourself out of it, like, oh, no, I'm fine. That message isn't mine. Are you sure, Capricorn? I'm just saying, this is a very positive message. You see yourself currently as, I have a lot of goals and dreams and ambition, but they never come true for me. Or that one that I'm really working towards, why isn't it coming in? Again, the answer has been here the whole time. It's not saying it won't. In fact, it very likely will, but it's in transit right now. That person hasn't entered your life yet. That job offer hasn't entered your life yet. But they're on a mission to. Again, you're going to get to your 10 of Cups, but it's about patience, and I have to say it lessens. 5 of Cups, change and chaos. What needs to change? Something needs to change, and it's very likely your perspective. And not only that, your perspective on emotions. I know that's a weird way to phrase it, but I'm not going to linger on that. Anyway. All right. How other people see you right now, if you're with a person, they're a little bit scared of you. They're afraid to approach you. And if it's not they're afraid of you, they're afraid to broach the subject with you again. Whatever this subject is of, let's talk about it. Let's assess that thing that we don't want to talk about, or the one that provokes a lot of sensitive feelings. This person is like, I have a lot of feelings, but I'm afraid to bring them to Capricorn. Again, Pisces. A lot of you may be dealing with a Pisces. If you are dealing with a Pisces, I have to be honest, I think a lot of you are on the outs with them. I'm not sure that you're convinced that this is your person, and that's okay. I love my Pisces. I'm rooting for every zodiac sign out there, but I do get a weird feeling about, is the Pisces holding me back? And I think they know it too, and that's why they're walking on eggshells with you, because I think they know they're in danger. They're dangerously close to being cut. You didn't make the list, kid. Sorry, we got to cut you. Especially romantically, or I don't know if you work on a project team and there's a Pisces who just isn't showing up to do their work. The Pisces is very nervous because it's like, oh God, if I say the wrong thing, I'm going to get cut this time. So here's the thing, Capricorn. If you are dealing with a Pisces or a Cancer for that matter, and you truly love them, I think you need to encourage this person to step up and face their fears. Quite literally, that to me is what the moon is in this scenario. Because you guys do, if we look at this card, there's one path between them, and they're both faced in the correct direction. So I know I said the knights are on different pages. It doesn't mean one of them can't turn around, change their ways a little bit, and get on the same page again, right? I feel like this is good in that someone is apprehensive or nervous to, again, talk about those rocky waters, right? The rocky waters, once you address them and discuss them, it leads you to newfound celebration. And it's like the water is fresh again. It's flowing. It's like a renewed vows or a renewed marriage or, the honeymoon phase revived. It's just that difficult decision to actually, again, go deep in the waters of Scorpio season and pull out the gunk that's been holding us back. I think a lot of you, there's a message here of that gunk or whatever you want to call it, the shadow side, that you're letting it fester inside. In a sense, it's bringing this doom and gloom to the relationship that you're allowing it to be the winner. You're allowing your vulnerabilities or sensitivities or fears by not addressing them, by refusing to acknowledge them. You're letting them win. This is about you conquering this. So it's almost like you need to flip the script or flip the perspective of if your fears and anxieties and, vulnerabilities are the mountain, you can ascend them, right? You can win. You can be the victor over them. This is talking about things that scare you. This is talking about real things, moving in together, purchasing something together, having a baby together, whatever it is. They're big decisions. They're like too big to hold at times, right? This is about facing your fears and again, not giving up your power to fear, recognizing I'm in control. If this is too much, I can let it go. Or if this is too much, I can ask my person to step in and hold one for me. This infinity loop of back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. This isn't working, so we need to solve it. And there's the fear of, I'm speaking in metaphor, of course, but there's fear with either passing off responsibility or there's fear of putting it down and walking away entirely, or fear that these two, essentially, the infinity loop, they're meant to work together, but I think there's a fear of we're never going to come to the solution where we both feel good about this. I would disagree. I think the solutions are peppered throughout this reading. Your advice or guidance is acknowledging that things have grown stagnant or stale and then making the difficult decision to solve them. For real this time, though. Not just put a Band-Aid on it every time you have an argument. This is about getting to the crux of what are we actually fighting about here? What are we actually fighting about here and why? Why is it such a sensitive topic to discuss? I say this a lot too. When you're in four is uncomfortable anyway because you're like, why is it dull? Why is it boring? Why is nothing coming in or out, financially or whatever? It's because you have to release something to welcome in something new. So again, this is not about they need to change. This is about what do I need to let go that's stopping me? What do I need to release from my shadow side, right? There's something that you're holding on to where universe is saying you need to be more flexible. You don't need to throw it out the window entirely. Maybe take it a piece at a time. Baby steps. Baby steps. Creepy demon baby steps. Right? Whatever you feel comfortable with, that's what I'm going to call your video. Creepy demon baby steps. It's about taking a practical plan, a practical solution, and implementing it, right? Actually making sure it stays in motion where it's not this stop-start. Have the discussion, get angry, and we go back to square one. It's about, no, we need to keep moving through this and working towards the problem, finding solutions, and I think you will. For most of you, this doesn't feel like a breakup spread to me. It feels like what's getting in the way of you guys coming together is, I'm going to say it, Capricorn, is your own bullshit. Both of you. You are both responsible for putting in equal amounts of effort. That's what Six of Pentacles says. It's a two-way street, baby, right? You can't be doing all the work and your person can't be enjoying all the luxuries. Vice versa, right? There needs to be equilibrium to this. Eight of Pentacles, yeah. To do the work. That's what I mean. The assessment here, it's like if we add one more pentacle, which the page is offering, we can make this work. We can do the work on this project, on this life, on this relationship together. I think this is a very positive spread. But anyway, all right, I've beat you up enough, Capricorn. Strength, maybe something with a Leo here too. I I'm going to say it, Capricorn, this has been my favorite reading so far. I think there is a lot of value and insight in this. I'm not at all saying that to toot my own horn. I just feel like Spirit hits you with the messages here, and they are real. I feel it. It's sensitive. I feel that too. There's a lot of like, oh, don't talk about that. I'm uncomfortable, but now we should talk about it. I got mad Cancer in my chart. I can talk about feelings all day. I'm here for you, Capricorn. All right, thanks for joining me, guys. Like, share, subscribe. I will see you soon for more tarot. Bye. What's good, Taurus squad? Welcome. Happy to have you guys. Let's hop into your tarot reading. Again, these are mid-monthly check-ins, but the messages have been deep. They have been very raw, very real. So as I've been telling everyone else, if you're looking for happy, fluffy, puppy dog rainbow messages, probably not going to happen here. You know, if things about crushes and flirtation come through, I'll share that with you. But this is likely going to be addressing the elephant in the room, digging out that skeleton from your closet that's been dying to come out for possibly years or months. So let's do it. A few more cards for Taurus. What do they need to transform? Taurus, if you are the phoenix rising from the ash, what is holding you back? That's what these messages have been about. Okay. You have a lot of people coming through. One more card for Taurus, please. For Taurus. Ooh, great card to end in. Potential outcome, 3 of Cups. I like that quite a bit. All right, so bottom of your deck, the Emperor, and sneak peek, you have a divine pairing here, especially with this deck because they're the same sex couple anyway. I always say these are not a divine pairing because of gendered, masculine, feminine. They balance each other out. There's like that Venus divine feminine energy that sort of comes along with the Empress card. And this doesn't have to be masculine in terms of a male figure, but the Emperor does channel his more masculine side, right? At one point he was a fire king and now he's worked his way up to be the Emperor. So these two are great collaborators. There's a nice yin to the yang here. So this could certainly be talking about business partnership if that's what you're lacking. It could be the severing off from a partner who isn't helping you. Or if, your goal is to, find a great compatible romantic partner, this could be that too. This could also be dealing with past baggage from some relationship with your mother and father. Or if you play one of those roles and you're struggling with a parental role, it could be about, for the child, let's get back on track with like the parental couple. So we will talk about what it all means, but I think this is very likely a career spread for my Tauruses out there. What do you need to close out in the past? You have 10. You have 2 cards indicating you need to either close it out or fix something with a soulmate. Potentially the one you got married to and are having kind of a lot of trouble in paradise, or maybe there was already a divorce. I'm almost getting like letting the residue settle. Like, if there's ash and clouds everywhere, it's like I think we're still not seeing things clearly because it's like the sky is still smoky. It's like we got to let the dust settle before we actually go in. And yeah, there's some piece of information that's holding you back from moving on from a tower. So I have a feeling a lot of you have already experienced this. Judgment. You have very strong cards of Scorpio, so this might be a divine counterpart with a Scorpio, or, a karmic. It doesn't have to be your ultimate, long-term person. For some of you, it already was, though. I'm sort of getting with Page of Swords. Again, this could be something about a family dynamic, like the parent and the child, or the children and the single parent, whatever this is. There may have to do with some I don't want to say family drama, but more or less something you need to go back and heal with a family. Or if it is truly in between a romantic couple or a business partnership, the Page of Swords is searching for a truth and the other person is not wanting to see. Yeah, there's a lot. Okay, you have a lot of cards of denial. You have multiple cards saying a decision needs to be made, and then underneath it I'm looking to see, all right, well, what is the topic of the decision? It's funny. Watch this. Page of Swords is like the seeker of truth. Sometimes it can be like a spy card. It doesn't have to be malicious. It's just like, what's going on here? Let's get to the bottom of this. It's inquisitive. It's trying to learn something. But what's being learned is not accessible right now, or someone is completely opposed to having the discussion with you. And then so one or both of you is left in this state of, okay, well, I guess we're just going to remain stuck here then. So Taurus, I have a feeling you're dealing with someone in your life, however they are related to you, where both parties are at a standstill, almost like a standoff, like who's going to speak first, who's going to break the ice. With Page of Swords, I think you're both thinking about it, but no one is wanting to be the first person to come through. And I want to say that Capricorn had a similar reading, and probably Leo. I think, yeah, Leo had this as well. And it was like, you guys are literally on the same page. It's just you both have to get over a sense of like ego. Leo, right? Am I right? I love my Leos. I'm so hard on them, but I genuinely love Leos. My best friend is a Leo. But theirs was all about check the ego. Like, what are we wasting time doing this? Like, well, he has to contact me first. When it's like, but you both want to be together. And like their outcome was beautiful. I'm not saying this is an identical spread to that, but that's why I sort of got frustrated in the Leo reading, is because you both are thinking and doing the same thing, but you both want the same ending, or at minimum, even if it's not that you want to reunite, you both want closure on something that it's like it's nagging at you. It's bothering you. It's ruffling your feathers still. I think you want to recalibrate the scales with this person. You want there to be equilibrium. You want there to be reciprocity in as much as there can be. It doesn't mean you want to give your sweetheart gifts, though it could. But it's also, especially for my single parents who are divorced and you're trying to make it work with like joint custody, I could absolutely see something like that. So again, I know that's a very specific message. It's not for all of my Tauruses, but you need to view it through the lens that makes sense in your life, if at all. If it doesn't make sense, push it aside, click off, right? I won't be offended. But yeah, I am getting something about, an awkward dynamic with the children and the ex-husband, or the children and the ex-wife. I definitely see this, and it's almost like, and I don't know who you are in this scenario, but I hope this makes sense to some of my Tauruses. It's the parents that are like, well, I'm not talking to your father. Well, I'm not talking to your mother. And the child is like, guys, can't we all just get along? So I'm making you aware, Taurus, if this is you at all, you're putting your child in a very awkward predicament. And I'm sure not knowingly, right? It's not like you're trying to make it uncomfortable or difficult for your child. This could also say to me, there's a child who's very up in their head and nervous. They have anxiety about this issue of why aren't my parents getting along? And like, let's zoom out from that. Let's just say if this is you, this could be your parents, right? Whether you're 15 or 50, right? It doesn't matter. There's still like a parent-child dynamic, or I'll say it this way, a power dynamic. So these could be if you have two bosses, right, who aren't on the same page, and I don't know if you would report to both of them, or two clients that are trying to work together, but they're telling you different things. And I sort of see this as monkey in the middle. Like, you're stuck, and I mean, I don't really know which one you are, I'll be honest, because there's so many people coming up here. So I'm going to do my best, but pick your player. You're either the one in the thick of the battle who's refusing to give on any sort of situation, or you're the one who's like the peacemaker, like, guys, can't we all get along? It's something about this involves a Virgo for a lot of you, but it doesn't have to. A Virgo who walked away, or you may have walked away from a Virgo or from a child. There may be a lot of guilty feelings about, even if you are still together in theory as a family unit, if you were an absent parent, if you were an absent mother or an absent father, I could also see this as guilt of, I want to bridge the gap. I want to mend this relationship with my person. But it's like, I'm so fearful of the consequences. Will they talk to me? Do they hate me? I think ultimately, again, I'm being called to say, you both kind of want the same thing, more or less, but taking that first step is really scary. And so a lot of you, it's like you're holding yourself back when the universe is trying to get you to see, no, this is what needs to be repaired in order to feel like you can fulfill your destiny. And, I know that's big words, right? That's big talk, but yeah, that's what Scorpio season is about. It's regeneration, it's death, and then rebirth. So it's not saying this rebirth has to be, yes, I've loved you and I've always known it and let's get back together. Though it could, no one's stopping you here. But it could also be like, can we just get this back to a place where there is a mutual respect? Yes, but there's an ability to work together. I don't have to love you, but if we have a child together, we have to make this work. That's what I'm getting from this. So word to the wise, I'm not sure if this is going to be everybody's story, but let's hop in and see. So assessment to communicate. Those are the first two cards coming out of your spread here. Do I make the first move? Why won't she budge? Why won't he budge? What is this? Let's see. I can't find my deck, so I'm going to use this one. Okay. Judgment. Again, twice. So Judgment is Pluto energy, which again, directly linked to Scorpio. And when I say this, it doesn't have to be with a Scorpio, though that is your divine counterpart, is it not? Is that right? Taurus and Scorpio. So you're going to see a lot of karmics with Scorpio for a lot of my Tauruses out there. Just me as a reader, I personally think, because, they're your opposite on the zodiac wheel. So there's a yin to your yang. There's a beautiful like pairing of opposites, sort of as we were saying here. So for a lot of you, it could have to do with the Scorpio. It doesn't have to, though. But yeah, Judgment is saying, yeah, there at one point in time, this person was your 10 of Cups, even in terms of your career. It was simpatico, you guys got along, you were helping each other out. Somebody took a wrong step. So give me one on this, please. It could have been with a Sagittarius who, no, this is the peacemaker. This is the pacifist. Deep down, you want to blend the opposites. That's so great because that's what we've been saying. Temperance is about balance, equilibrium, patience, and ultimately it's the angel of healing. It's Archangel Michael. So it's healing with love so that the ultimate end goal, the ultimate victory or achievement through all of this patience and slow and steady is, can we just get some mental clarity? Can we put our minds at ease? Can we put our minds at rest so we don't constantly have our defenses up and anticipating attack or living in, I'm more getting for a lot of you, and this might be your person, the guilt or the shame of something that already transpired. It's like, yeah, I shouldn't have said that. Do you see her face? It's like, oh, why did I do that? And it's like, it's doing 8 of Swords to you, right? It's become this mental prison of, well, I got myself into this mess, but now I don't know how to get myself out because it's uncomfortable to admit that I was wrong, or it's uncomfortable to admit that I should have acted differently. And same goes for your person. I'm not saying they're in the clear either, but that's what I mean. That the whole idea of this reciprocity and ending with, hey, let's come together as a group again and make this okay. You both have mirrored feelings. Again, I think you both feel some type of way about the other person, but I think, again, I just have to be honest, Taurus. I'm not trying to attack you here. I'm doing it with love, but you know that you may have screwed up a little bit too. And that's what 5 of Swords says, and 5 of Cups. See, you have a lot of awkward things, but under all this, if we can get through the woe is me, emotional baggage, or that person really hurt me, why would they have done that to me? If we can release the victim mentality and, winning at all costs, for lack of a better thing, for 5 of Swords, doing something and immediately regretting it, or doing something to position yourself in a better position. Sorry, I'm not being eloquent today, but doing something solely for yourself and then realizing, oh, but I kind of fucked that other person over. If we can deal with this and advocate for ourselves, Ace of Wands, we can maintain our position as the emperor of our life, right? We can maintain our position of still having power, but not being an authoritarian, ruling with kindness, ruling with love. And again, I'm being called to say this probably involves children or something with a Leo. Again, this could be your awkward relationship with your mom or something like that, whatever. So when you are firing on all cylinders, Taurus, when you are thinking about things with a higher vibe, a higher perspective, when you're detaching from the emotional pain, when you're like, okay, I'm here, I'm showing up to my own life because I want to do the spiritual work, your highest vibration knows you need to let your guard down. There's some sort of issue where it's like the longer you guys haven't, again, discussed the elephant in the room or haven't decided to have that awkward conversation, the walls are growing up and up and up, and it's getting worse. I'm getting this problem isn't just going to go away. You have to be the liaison in fixing it, in anything that's going to like bring your guard down. Again, that is sort of your intuition, your highest vibrational mind, your direct link to source and universe says, all right, we got to stop doing the wounded warrior act. We have to let our guard down and talk about this, or accept someone's apology. Maybe somebody has already tried to make good on this offer. Maybe somebody has already made strides to establish peace in a relationship, and you're like, no, they did me wrong, and I'm never speaking to them again. Okay, you can do that, but this is saying your higher vibrational knows that that's not the correct thing. We need to close out this cycle. And the thing is, if this truly is your message and you're still kind of in this in between, like, you don't understand, it's complicated, they did this, so it's not my place to apologize, it's theirs. I understand that. I totally understand that. But it's not about winning. This is about, I'm carrying this burden, this load in my head, physically, energetically. I don't want to feel this way anymore. So if by making the first move, it's going to declutter my life and allow me to succeed in other avenues in my life, why wouldn't you do that, right? I have to be honest, this is similar to the Leo reading in that it is slightly, Taurus, slightly, don't shoot the messenger, checking the ego a little bit. You may have to make the first move, and sometimes in life that happens. And maybe that's your karmic lesson in all this. It's easy to be the one who's being chased, isn't it? It's a lot harder to step up and advocate for yourself. Because for some of you, because you are, a Venus energy, it might be that you just don't like confrontation. If you don't have to rock the, what is that expression? Tip the scales. If you don't have to rock the boat, if you don't have to poke the bear, why would you? because it will help you in the long run. Worst case scenario, this person refuses to talk to you, right? And then that's your answer. That's your answer. So in which case, if you try and communicate and you get shut down, you need to find an alternate way of letting your guard down in the future so that this doesn't impact your other relationships. You win some, you lose some. So if you care deeply about this person and you try to communicate and they shut you off again, well then that's on them. It's not on you. I don't think that would be the case, though. I think this person has a lot of admiration and respect for you. I think you let them down, and vice versa. I think they let you down. That's what Five of Pentacles says, and that's what's going on in your past. But look at you guys. You're in it together. You could find, shelter from the storm a lot better if you would communicate, right? Like, where do you think we should go? Have you been down this road before? Like, how do we do this? Let's problem solve together. Collaboration is the key to this. Again, it doesn't have to be forever and ever, but for some of you, I can tell this is an awkward dynamic between divorcees. It's like you have kids together, but it's like you don't even speak to the other one when you go and pick the child up. And again, if that is your situation, I know you have your reasons, right? I would never tell you to try and make it work with someone who is toxic and unhealthy. But more or less, if there's a child involved here, again, there needs to be reciprocity in how you're working to do this. And don't make it about you. Make it about the child, right? And some of you already know this. I don't mean to I'm never here to scold you or make you feel guilty. That's not my goal. I want to help you with this. But for those who relate to the whole thing with an ex, the toxic ex and the child, are you putting the child first before all your own bullshit? Because if you're not, this child is going to have a mess of childhood baggage and scars. Do them the service of setting them up for success by not dragging your drama into their life. They're a kid, they're a child. Don't make this burden that's yours their burden too, because it's almost like they're a victim of circumstance, but you don't want them to grow up being closed off to love or not feeling like they got enough love. Again, this is your highest vibrational mind knows somebody or multiple people in the scenario, need to stop playing the victim, right, as well as letting their guard down. And I know when I say that, that's a trigger. Stop playing the victim. Well, because then it unleashes this whole mess of, you're just a tarot reader and you don't know what I've been through. You're absolutely right. I don't know what you've been through. But I'm going to flip the switch. You don't know what I've been through, right? We all are fighting battles. And as nasty and difficult as people can be to us, the only person responsible for making us love ourselves and heal our wounds are us. Right? That's it. I can't expect this person and that person to come to me with apologies and make me feel better. No, that is my responsibility. And trust me, everybody who watches tarot has learned that the hard way, right? And we're in the process of doing it, and that's okay. And again, Taurus, I'll put this out there too. Sometimes you have been a victim of circumstance. You didn't know that when you got involved with this person that they were a raging alcoholic or they were going to become that, right? Again, I'm not blaming you for that, but I'm saying it's your responsibility to understand, this person isn't healthy for me, so I need to find ways to get myself out of this situation. And again, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's up to you to be solution oriented, okay? I just don't want you to think I'm trying to be cruel. Again, you've been through the ringer. I see that. The only thing that's saving this, and you're going to know if this is your reading or not instantly, is because you do actually still kind of have love for this person, or you feel a responsibility to make it work for the kids. And I'm hearing that Blink-182 song, Stay Together for the Kids. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you need to make it work for the kids, if that makes sense to you. And for some of you, this whole idea of you making it work, mom and dad and the kid, that could be you and a business partner and the clients that you share. Do you understand what I mean? Anyway, moving on. Hopes and fears. I think there's also a power dynamic here where you feel like you get silenced from this person quite a bit, or you feel like I am hearing usurp of power. Is that the right word? You feel like this person takes power away from you or diminishes the authority that you have, again, with the kids or the clients or whoever. You feel like you have a very just and important way of doing things, but you feel like this person undermines you. That's the word. Thank you, Spirit. So what can I tell Taurus here? What's this about? In fact, I'm going to go as far, knowing this is, for some of you, this is probably a business relationship. I'm going to pull a romance angel because I feel like I want to confirm to you that this person is not your nemesis. I think you are both guilty of maybe acting in haste and therefore making decisions in a not the highest vibration, a little bit of jealousy or a little bit of resentment. And again, both of you, I think, more or less have done that even unknowingly or not wanting to do that. But give me the vibe here. Give me the vibe here. Just saying, right? Bottom of the deck, it's showing for a reason. This could be a dynamic with two female business partners as well. People who went in on a business together. And one of you may have an issue that the other person spends too much money. You might be dealing with a Capricorn. I'm seeing Taurus and Capricorn. Yeah, this is so interesting. Trust. The situation is calling for you to have faith. That's what's falling between you. And then this kind of wanted to show itself, but it didn't fall out. It says healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. So, I mean, this could be a generational, I don't want to say curse, but, you know, karma. It's like things that you experienced as a child. If you're to fast forward 30 years, are you realizing that you're reliving things that you experienced in your childhood and now accidentally are projecting onto your own children? It's just getting you to think, right? If it's not your message, toss it out. That's fine. But it wants to be seen for a reason. And there is, even if we want to take the idea of children as being honoring your inner child, or again, the idea of doing something kind of childish, not being mature and stepping up to the plate and, you know, maybe playing hard to get, I think we're done with that. I think we need to heal the family issues. Give me Taurus here. So just to give you the devil's advocate perspective, I think you worry that this person is diminishing or undermining your power, your voice, your authority. I think this person is incredibly threatened and intimidated by you. And something about that, they now have trust issues about you. So I don't know if you went ahead and did something to almost as like a power play to be like, no, I'm in control. And now they're like, well, you didn't talk about that with me. So now, like, I don't even know how to deal with you. Like, can I trust you with this? Can I tell you about that? Yeah, I don't know. This may involve a Sagittarius too. New love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. So there may even be third-party drama, again, especially with exes, divorced parents. There could be, like, the new boyfriend or the new girlfriend. And, like, you guys have enough to worry about as it is. Adding in, like, new romantic suitors, it's only going to increase the jealousy. And I am getting undermining the relationship, especially with children. Okay, so what should Taurus be hoping for or focusing on? What should their goals regarding this tricky situation be? How can we help them realign? Grand Fortune. This will get better if you put in the effort. And again, that says to me, if you put your walls down, right? If you put your guard down, rather, if you open yourself up to discuss, there's something about transformation. I'm seeing flow of money. So the flow of currency, business could get better, or your financial situation could get better. There's butterflies coming out of that little cup. I don't know if you guys can see that, but butterflies are indicative of transformation. The 2 and the 6 make 8. That makes me think of strength. Again, possibly Leo, but there's a strong dynamic here, but there needs to be some sort of surrender or sacrifice in being too egocentric, but sometimes I hear the word dogma with this card, being very stuck in the old traditional ways of doing things. Someone's got to give. Something's got to break. And you're both are earth signs in this dynamic anyway. I'm not saying you have to be dealing with an earth sign. You could be dealing with another Taurus, but God help you. Good Lord. Someone's got to give a little bit to get a lot in return. So yeah, I don't see this as a death sentence. I see this as something that has been very troublesome and tricky for the last several, if not years. But Spirit is saying it's Scorpio season, like, we need to wrap this up so we can move on. That's exactly what you have coming in. Moving on with mental peace, with clarity. Going from rocky waters to smooth sailing up ahead. So, I mean, that looks really good. I don't know why you would deny yourself the ability to do that, only then out of stubbornness, out of ego, out of I think you're being advised to be the bigger person. Again, I am by no means shaming you and saying that, you have no reason to feel the way you do. You absolutely do. I'm the biggest tarot reader who's going to tell you your feelings are valid. Like, I got water in my chart. Like, your feelings are valid. You are entitled to feel them. But I am going to flip it on you and say, but you're also responsible to heal them. Because sometimes those wounds are real, and sometimes they manifest as a projection of this tiny little thing that it's become the monster in our lives. And that's when it's like we're giving our power up to our fears. They're not necessarily real, but there's that anxiety, that fear of attack. That's your own head kind of playing games with you here. Are your thoughts true? Are they real? And more importantly, with swords, what are you needing to communicate that you're holding back on? Because again, there's fear in her face. Well, if I say this, what will happen? If I speak my truth, will they reject me? If I say that I'm upset with them, will they never speak to me again? You know. What are we on our way towards here? There's two people in the boat. There's two people in the boat. For some of you, this is a mother-daughter relationship. Where are you headed? 8 of Pentacles. Let's get back to work. Like, I'm sorry, you're sorry, let's make this work, because we are kick-ass collaborators. You know, it hasn't all been easy. There's been a bumpy ride or two in our past, clearly. May have been financial strain. This could be arguments about money, but essentially, if you wanted to work with this person, sorry, I should show it this way, that's what you guys are headed to. The smooth sailing involves getting back to work and enjoying it. This is work that passes the time and work that you're throwing your heart and soul into, right? It's identifying with the work that you're doing. I can already tell, Taurus, you're going to have to be the bigger person. And I know that's not what you want to hear. I think you want someone to come and rescue you, sorry, I shouldn't have said that. That's not really what I meant. I think you want someone to be the one to break the ice. I am 99% sure that you're going to have to do it, but you will be met with open arms. That's really what I see. I see you as steering the boat. You're the captain of the ship. You're taking over control. You're stepping up into your power, into your own life. And it's almost like to step into your power, you have to do something that you're fearful of doing. When we put our best foot forward, and again, we conquer our shadow side, our inner demons, those negative, pessimistic thoughts of, I can, or this will happen, or it's like, just do it, because I think you're going to understand, like, wow, I was giving so much power to all the things that could go wrong. I wasn't seeing how good things could get or how things could go right. This is what's coming in. These are both excellent, excellent cards. Okay. All right. So how you see yourself is the Empress, rightfully so. So you do respect yourself. You set boundaries in the sand. But again, I mean, I hate to do the stereotype thing, but I can't avoid it, especially in this reading. There's a little stubbornness to the Empress. I'm not going to get up. You have to come to me. Okay, again, is that approach working for you right now? Just asking. I do love that this card is coming up for you, though, because it does say that you are completely capable of being strong in your power, channeling the highest vibration of the Empress, which, again, is Taurus and Libra. Are you overcompensating with the Taurus aspect of this card and not so much the Libra, which is about truth and justice and clarity, the balancing of the scales? I think you got the Taurus part nailed down. You're the maintainer. You're good with your money. You know, that Venetian beauty, right? Arts, music, creativity, like where Ace is there. I think you're being asked to compensate more with the Libra aspect to, where's my reciprocity card? To rebalance the scales, right? Taurus card, right? Libra. You have a lot of cards of balance. Another card of Libra, right? And again, for some of you, this definitely involves a Virgo, possibly an Aries as well. Why is the soulmate card coming up, right? And again, this can be platonic love. This can be best friends where something got messed up. These two like each other. They build empires together. This is one of my favorite fours because while the fours can indicate a comfort zone or even stagnation, a plateau, anybody or any suit that's going to get you out of that, okay, we've stopped growing, so, you know, life has turned to shit. You know, the wands continue to grow. So just because we've reached the 4 doesn't mean we can't reach the 5. It will happen if both people are equally contributing. Wands promote growth. I mean, this is cards of celebrations, of weddings, of parties. Again, milestones, reasons to celebrate. That's the potential outcome you have if, again, you can put your best foot forward to solving this problem. So okay, well, yeah, I keep hearing zodiac signs as I do this. So some of you are dealing with a very feisty Leo. A Leo who maybe has a bit of a temper and there's something about your past where they get triggered when you talk about this. But again, that's their problem to sort out, not theirs. So you can only come to them with peace and calm, and don't feed off of their energy. If they're kind of, you know, spitting fire at you, you have options on what you want to do with that. You are responsible for how you react to that. So if you come at them and they can't talk to you like a mature adult, again, I'm getting childish. If they childishly will not sit down and have a one-to-one with you, then okay, that's your answer. Do you want to work with them knowing that that's a part of their personality? Or can you approach them in a different way, knowing that there are certain triggers? And it's like pre-warn them, like, this is what I want to talk about, but I actually want to talk. I don't want to yell this time, right? So again, you can only put your best foot forward. You can only put in your best effort, and they can either meet you halfway or they're going to lose you. And I do want to say lose you because you offer something very beautiful to this dynamic, but I think this person probably took you for granted in the past. I think this person probably overstepped their bounds at one point and you weren't having it. And again, you were absolutely justified in feeling that. But if you're going to sit there and like kind of whine about it or be moody, again, you're not being action oriented. You're not being solution oriented. And that's what this needs. Okay, and for some of you, again, I have to continue back to the message. This is very likely a divorce scenario where someone else is now coming in as a third party. I don't necessarily think it was cheating. I'm not really getting that vibe. Like, I think you guys moved on, and so now, you know, your ex-husband has a girlfriend, and you're like, really? Like, this is the last fucking thing I need, because now it feels like it's 2-1. Now it feels like it's me versus them, and I get that. That's uncomfortable. So again, advocate for yourself. I understand that, you know, stepmom is now a part of the kid's life, but ultimately we are these children's parents, and so if possible, I would like to have this conversation be 1-to-1, and maybe in the future we can include Tiffany. Do you know what I mean? Like, I get the power dynamic here where now all of a sudden it was the ex-husband and you, and now it's the ex-husband and the girlfriend, and you're like, wait a minute. Like, no, like, this is not fair. You're right. You know, it's 2 against 1. Level the playing field and have the discussion, and then over time, if you guys can blend energies and make it work, sure. Let's ask the stepmom what she wants to do too. But I'm sort of getting the stepmom can be pushed aside right now, not in a cruel way, not in a mean way. And again, this could be a different business partnership, right? If you guys had a business and you merged off in separate ways, and now your new person has a new person or whatever. I get it. There is some interference with third party energy, but there doesn't have to be. I think you just need to be very truthful of, when I have these conversations with the two of you, I feel intimidated because I feel like your 2 voices are stronger than my one. So can we at least do like a 1-to-1 first? And you know what I mean? And again, I'm not trying to solve all the problems because I know this is specific, but I do see it as you feel like there's an unfair attack because there's too many people on the opposing side. So again, don't let that be the fear that stops you from doing it. Find your way through that wall, right? So your advice or guidance is very much introspection. I think I said the same thing to Capricorn, which is just, and I've already said this to you, so I'm not going to hammer the point home. I'm just going to repeat it because it's coming up again. The advice or guidance of all this spread rolls into this card. Where did you misstep? What was it that you look back on and you're just like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, or I slightly regret that? That's what this card is. This has nothing to do with what they did to you, about how you feel. This is about, what did you do that was slightly out of line, that in hindsight you're like, I could have handled that better. That's all. I'm not going to linger on it. What do you think you could have handled better? Can that be the solution? And again, hopefully your person, because by the looks of the spread they are, is doing the exact same thing. Where did I misstep? Here's the thing. I think it's going to take them longer to come around and advocate first, because I'm just going to say it, because they're being presented as Leo, the King of Wands. Again, you have what's going for you is that Venetian, receptive, kind, motherly energy. Even if you are male, you are ruled by Venus, the planet of love. Leo, or whoever this is ruled by the sun. Ego. It's about me. And I know this is making your blood boil. The thing is, it is ultimately warmth. The Leo sheds the sun, right? And I think for a long time you were in that person's sun and it felt good and it felt great. And then it kind of changed and now it's cold. Now it's dark. This person is capable of doing kind, warm things, but I think they put themselves first. And unfortunately in this situation, somebody has to break the ice. And again, my bets are on you, Taurus. If you truly want to move on from this and change it, I would highly encourage you to make the first move. You don't have to be a doormat by any means. I think you need to stick to your guns, but you need to approach it in a way where you're not constantly criticizing them. I think that's what I would say. Taking ownership, taking accountability for what transpired, and then ultimately you can kind of skip over of the you shouldn't have done this, you shouldn't have done that. Make some I statements, right? But ultimately I think what you need to bring to the table is, what is the solution here? How can we work together? Because I want this, you want this, we need it for our kids, we need it for our business. Let's bridge this gap. You know, throw some solutions at me. I'm all ears. I'm here to listen, right? That would help too if you both are coming at this with, you know, don't fight fire with fire. Make sure you're listening, right? Because here's the thing, as I said, this is a great outcome card. This is let's break bread. We broke the ice. Let's celebrate. Let's be friends again. Let's move back in together. Whatever this is, it's reason to celebrate. It's very positive. All right, Taurus, that's what I got for you. This is a whole new world. You are starting a new cycle in your life, so make sure you close out the other one properly. Please like, share, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what resonates. Sending you much love and all the best. Happy Scorpio season, and I will see you soon in Sagittarius season. Bye. Hello, beautiful Virgos. Thank you for your patience and waiting on your video. Last but certainly not least, let's do your mid-November check-in. These are deep messages. I've been giving everybody the same disclaimer, or however you want to say it. This is not about that person you're crushing on. This is not about that job you're waiting for. So understood, those are generally the messages people are looking for. But I do hope you stick around because this is about bigger, deeper stuff. It's Scorpio season, transformation, phoenix from the ashes, death to rebirth, right? That's what these messages are. So essentially it's like, what is that skeleton in your closet that really needs your attention? Like, it's time to gut out the closet and do the internal work, the spiritual work, the introspection. So generally speaking, 11 out of 12 have been those messages. So I have a feeling yours will be too. I'll let you know if anything about money or love comes up, and I'm sure they will here and there. You know, that's normal, but yeah, strap in. It might be a ride. Let's do it for Virgo. Interesting. So you have 3 cards in the center of your spread, and it does have to do with love. It has to do with 2 of Cups. So I hope this video finds you well, Virgo. You guys know you're always in the driver's seat, so you're responsible for all your own actions and decisions. Come at this with an open heart, with an open mind, with a high vibration. If you're not vibing high, this might not be the message for you. It might not be the channel for you, but we'll try. We'll do my best. I'll do my job. You do yours, which is to receive these messages and at least contemplate them. Just think about them, right? You never have to take action on anything that feels strange or foreign. In fact, you shouldn't, but you know the drill. Ooh, the soulmate card, or children. This could be children coming up or something from your past. It could be nostalgia. What is it regarding instantly? This is about needing to wrap something up with someone who you thought was your soulmate. Very likely is what's coming through. Or any sort of relationship where there is this element of sentimentality and I love them deeply, but are they really what's best for me? Am I holding on to them to my own demise? Like, it's heavy. This isn't really a fun job to be carrying 9 sticks around or 10 sticks around, right? And this doesn't indicate the closing out of a cycle that left you feeling exhausted. This can be the soulmate card or something with a child, right? I'm not going to exclude the fact that you may have a child that, I hate to use the word toxic because that's very harsh, but you may have a child who has substance abuse issues, and try as you might to send them off to rehab time and time again. Ultimately, this might be saying they are responsible for their own choices. So yes, it is natural to want to love and protect and do everything you can for your child. Absolutely. But to what extent where you may be burning yourself out, or not even that, more extreme than that, giving up your power to the idea of addiction, enabling. That's the word I'm looking for. So things to consider, definitely things to consider. That's coming through if that's your message. Yeah, some of you are being asked to do some work individually, spiritually on yourself, to realign yourself to the work you want to accomplish in this lifetime. This doesn't have to mean career-wise. This could be just YOLO, you know, enjoying your life. What hobbies have you always wanted to take up that you never had time to? You know, do you want to exercise? Do you want to work out your body? Do you want to change your eating routine? Do you want to make more friends? Do you want to have children? I think this is time to reassess the work you want to accomplish in this lifetime. And I know that that's a huge message, right? That's a big thing to think about, but it's your life. Why wouldn't you want to think about those things? And for most of you, it's not that you weren't, it's that it got put on the back burner because of some other stuff going on. 10 says, we're done with this. We can end it. We can put the wands down. We don't need to fight this battle anymore because, in a sense, hang with me, in a sense, 10 of wands and 10 of swords says it's a losing battle. There's something we were hoping to accomplish, and for some reason or another, it didn't work out and it became a chore or a pain in the ass. Or a higher vibration message of the 10 of wands could be, you know, you had to move out of your house last minute, you barely found a new place, but at least we're in it now and things are settled. So it wasn't necessarily a fun activity, but the silver lining or the sweet relief is that, okay, we're done. Do you understand what I mean? So this isn't necessarily a card of victory and celebration, only in that, hey, at least we got through that and we don't have to deal with it anymore, right? Now, because these are, again, skeleton in the closet type messages, like what are we really needing to look at, our shadow side, the things that we're scared of, the things that we're fearful of doing or saying or thinking. Universe is like, no, let's talk about it. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Good. Let's talk about why it's uncomfortable so that we can solve the problem once and for all. For some of you, I think it's detaching from someone who you do have very fond feelings for and sentiment and affection. And again, I'm not here to scold you for that. You obviously saw something in them that you liked, but this to me is saying, but you're holding on to it when really you should be focusing your time, your energy, and your effort on something else. Because ultimately, when you release whatever this, I do want to call it a burden, just, I got to be honest with you. When you do choose to release this and refocus your life on your children, on yourself, on your health, on your body, on your career, what you're really releasing is the Seven of Swords, which is something where they don't have the best intentions in mind. The liar, cheater, thief card. Now, it doesn't have to be that you were dating a toxic partner in that capacity, but I would actually question, are you sure? That I can also sometimes view this card as, again, stick with me, where are you lying to yourself? Subconsciously. You don't know that you're doing it, but it's that kind of thing of, oh, I'll deal with it later. The skeleton in the closet. I see it. I haven't forgotten. It's not the right time. Is it though? Because universe is saying it is the right time. Like, we got to get rid of this confusion, these thoughts. I always see the Seven of Swords as walking away from something that you know isn't good for you, which that's awesome in itself that you're recognizing it. But with the Seven of Swords, he always leaves two behind. He's got the five, right? So in a sense, the Five of Swords, doing something and realizing, oh, maybe I made the wrong choice. Maybe this was a poor decision. We've come to that, okay? Like, we've collected the swords, we've understood it, we've thought about it, we're about to move on. But I always see this, and this is just me as a reader, the two swords we're leaving behind, it's like leaving a foot in the door just in case I want to return to it when you know that that's not the proper action. So for some of you, this could be giving to a relationship where you were doing all the work and you always kind of hoped your partner would turn around. And so maybe some of you pursued other dating options. You were on the apps, you were dating, you found someone new, or you might be with someone new, but this is still saying to me, for a while, you guys have been playing this head game of, I'm over them, I don't think about them, but the minute they text you, you're like, oh, hi, how have you been? Like, you're so willing to accept them back in your life, even though you've moved on. It's just asking you to consider, have you really moved on, though? Are you still carrying the stuff around when you really don't need to be? And it is entirely your decision, Virgo, right? These are just messages. You don't have to take on any of these messages as your truth if they're not. But I am encouraging people, though, if when you hear this message and it's a trigger, if instead of jumping to, no, that's not true, ask yourself why you're having such a strong reaction to it, right? Is it a trigger? Is it touching upon something that is very sensitive, right? It's an emotional point for you, and maybe it's uncomfortable to talk about because it's an uncomfortable situation. You're human, Virgo, right? Take it easy on yourself. Take it easy on your tarot reader, right? Don't shoot the messenger. But I think this is about doing some internal work and, again, kind of gutting out the closet of things, people, situations, jobs, whatever it is that they're just not serving you anymore. It doesn't mean you have to say goodbye to them forever, but I have to be honest, for the time being, I would try very hard to have that mindset versus the mindset of, okay, well, if you love something, set it free, but every day you're on social media spying on them. Do you know what I mean? Like, because energetically, then you're not really letting go. You're still holding on to it. And that is hard, guys. I get it. Letting go of someone you really do love and you really do have good hopes and dreams and wishes for, that's great and that's beautiful, but it's a two-way street. And I'm getting, you showed up to do the work, but where were they? Why were they not doing the work? Just something to consider. Yeah. Some of you are waiting for a Capricorn to come back around to you. They might actually. And again, I stand by my message. Like, I think you should put your best foot forward wholeheartedly and not constantly be spying on the Capricorn or checking on them or just playing hard to get, right? Playing that game of, I want you, but I'm not going to let you know. Well, I'm just going to say it. That's a little bit immature, right? I think we need to set our intentions and be very straight with people to get what we want. Because if you have been playing some sort of head games, and I'm sure you have your reasons, maybe they were doing the same to you, why are you engaging in that then, right? It's not the right one. I'm not saying love is easy. I'm under no false pretenses that everything is beautiful and great and wonderful. There are going to be things in relationships that are obstacles that really push you, that force you to step up. But yeah, if you do think you've been engaging in any sort of childish behavior, which again, lots of people do. I'm not scolding you. I'm just saying, okay, that was the old cycle. The world says it's a whole new world, baby. Like, we're done with that. We're rewriting the history books. We're changing how we react to things. We are only accepting real, solid, tangible love offers. Enough with these people who keep you hanging. Yeah, a lot of you have a fire sign that's like, I want to, but I can't. I want to, but I can't. And you're like, okay, I'll just wait till you decide. And universe is like, Nope, we're not doing that because it's not real. It's our imagination getting the better of us as, well, someday they'll commit. Well, they're not committing now. So I would, again, it's like, go with the assumption, take them at their word. Go with the assumption that, if they're not going to do it here and now, I'm not going to wait 10 years and find out. This is about moving forward practically. If by all means tomorrow your King of Wands, who's been keeping you on pause, makes a solid offer, absolutely, take it, go for it. But I would still question, well, what are you certain about now that you weren't certain about 10 months ago? Okay, so here's the thing. Has there been significant shifts in the storyline? Has something that was not there before, has something freed this person up? Has something changed significantly in their world, in their orbit, that is allowing them to come forward with a real offer? Or is this fake, I want to, but I can't, and I'm going to show you this, but I'm not, you know what I mean? It's like this touch and go, back and forth, and I don't know about you, but that feels exhausting to me because it gets your hopes up. It's, again, I'm not saying they're malicious or doing it intentionally, but it's giving you these these unsettled emotions where I think more often than not, Virgo, you may have been giving this person the benefit of the doubt. Well, they did take me out that one time, and they did send me the piece of jewelry. But it's about more than jewelry, right? That's the name of your video. It's about more than jewelry. I'm kidding. You gotta introduce a little humor into these, but I think this is hashtag goals for you. Let's start a new chapter. Let's not bring any emotional baggage, anything that's kind of trickling in from the past that, again, there's the temptation to hold on to it, to cling on to it. That's fear. You're clinging on to it out of fear, which everybody has. That's our shadow side. It's when you start giving power and truth to those false beliefs or those fears that it really kind of gunks you up on your spiritual path to move forward. So again, this 1 foot in, 1 foot out, that could be your person too. We're doing this metaphor of I want to commit to you, but I can't, but I'm going to text you every night, but I can't go to see you. That, I think it's confusing you. And again, it's emotionally manipulative. It's unfair. If you have very true, pure feelings for this person, it's like you're putting your life on pause. You're supposed to grow and expand, continue to build upon your world and yourself and all that good stuff. But you're not, because you're like, well, I love this person. Should I wait for them? Should I not? And of course, to different degrees. I'm not saying you guys are literally pausing everything, but I just don't see this as helpful to you. I think we got to release this and let go of it for the time being. And again, if this person can step up and actually make tangible offers to you and continue to do so, steadiness is sort of the word I'm getting. What is that? Consistency. Thank you, Spirit. There needs to be consistency in what this person is offering you. And the thing is, you could argue they are consistent. They're consistent with telling me they love me and then pulling out. Like, ooh, that sounds sexual, doesn't it? But that's the consistency I see. And I don't need to tell you, Virgo, that's not the consistency we're looking for, right? It's complicated. And for some of you, I could see children may play a factor in this because either you, Virgo, may have kids, they may have kids. And so maybe they have to split their time of, I have to do this with them, but then I want to see you. I'm still getting a vibe though, is that I know this is a tough message to hear. And so I'm not trying to offend. I have to be incredibly blunt with how I'm hearing this. They also use their children as an excuse of why they can't see you, or it's becoming like a fallback excuse. And I'm not saying some of it isn't valid. Again, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just relaying the message I'm getting. It's easier to be like, I can't see you because so-and-so has football than, I'm sorry, I just don't want to see you tonight. Like, I'm exhausted. And so it's again, it's like little white lies. But if this person truly loves you, it should be an open enough relationship to say, I'm just burnt out. I'm sorry. Like, I just want to stay here and I don't want to travel, 50 miles tonight to see you or whatever. It's like, yeah, I think more than anything, the little white lies, they're starting to add up and rub you the wrong way. And I don't think this is news. I think you already know this. But again, there's very much rose-tinted glasses of the things I like about them, I love about them, and so I'm going to choose to focus on that. Unfortunately, especially for your male fire sign, this King of Wands has a lot of hang-ups. I'm not reprimanding him. I'm not, it's not my business. I don't know anything about his life. I just know what the cards are showing me. He's more often than not walking away from this than he is making offers. But again, I see it as touch and go. So for those of you who know who this is, it is going to continue to be on again, off again. I don't actually see them cutting off communication, so maybe that makes you happy. But the whole point of this is saying, how long are we going to let this go on? Flat out, this is the skeleton in the closet that's coming up. So And it might be hard for you too, Virgo. Again, I'm incredibly empathic or sympathetic rather to the situation where every time you mustered the strength that, I'm going to honor myself and I'm going to walk away and I deserve better. You bet your ass you do. You have 2 offers coming in. One is probably from this King of Wands, but again, it's like he's presenting as a knight, really, underneath this like glamour and beautiful and again, almost, I hate to say superficial, but glamorized version. He's a knight. He's trying, but he could be trying better. He may be more caught up in the fantasy, the hopeless romantic side of it. But when it comes down to it, it's like, well, can you walk away from that and come towards me? He's like, I don't think I can. Like, it's not a good time for me. Virgo, I'm telling you without fail, I'm not saying never. I'm not putting the death sentence on this. I think it would serve you well to draw a line in the sand and stick to that decision, okay? Whatever that is for you, right? Maybe it's not pulling back all at once, but it's setting some sort of new goal so that this doesn't feel so, I want to say gut-wrenching. Like, I feel the energy and it's very heavy. I know you like this person, right? And the thing is, I know they like you too. I don't think you guys are a good pair right now because you can't give each other what the other one needs. When you honor yourself, when you value yourself, yeah, thank you, Spirit. Okay, this is confirming what I was feeling, but I didn't want to speak too soon. When you draw a line in the sand and say, no, like, I can't do this on again, off again with you. I enjoy you, you're fun, but like, I want the real deal. When you send the signals to the universe, when you manifest, I want the real deal. I don't want to play this cat and mouse game, but only you're the one doing the chasing. You have a new knight that steps in or a new offer, movement, change forward. This is your knight, by the way, too. So it's almost saying when you move forward as the Empress, your 10 of Cups person comes in, and interesting, it might just be a Cancer, a Leo, it could be another earth sign, a male earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. It doesn't have to be, though. You have a lot of signs coming through here, so it's not even really about the zodiac signs, but I do always like to mention it for confirmation. Taurus, Libra, Virgo, Cancer, Pisces, maybe. Again, it's not this person, so you might be dealing with 2 different Cancers. I'm just saying, if you were to appropriately disconnect from this, and again, not play the head game of, oh, I don't think about them, but what are they doing on Facebook? That, again, energetically, you're sending the message to the universe like, oh, I'm still half in, half out. They're like, okay, well, I'm going to let you deal with that, Virgo, right? When you appropriately disconnect from this, or again, set new boundaries, set firm boundaries. That's really what this is saying to me. And release the person who it scares you to let go of them, but again, it's stagnant. The 4 is about the safety zone and the comfort zone. They're familiar. The sex is good. You get to see them every now and then, but it's saying you can't accept any new blessings because you're full up. You're holding on to things, but it's not for your best and highest good. If you have faith that there's more out there, someone else who could fill your cup to the brim, I think you're going to quickly see a turnaround. And I really do. These are very strong cards. If we entirely remove the zodiac signs, the Empress builds the empire. This is probably you, Virgo, because it's very enriched in earth energy. But we have to remember the Empress is also Libra energy, which has to do with like Venus, love, beauty, art, music, sensuality, creativity, and fairness, truth, justice, right? It's Libra and Taurus energy, and I just feel like this is a much better match for you. If nothing else, to match your self-respect. I think this is what the universe is encouraging you to do. And with that, you can make slow and steady progress towards finding someone who actually can offer you something of substance. If this is representing who's coming in, I would take them in a heartbeat over all that. That has a lot of, dare I say, red flags to it. And again, you have to be ready to do that, right? If you're watching this tarot reading and you know in your heart, I'm not ready, then okay, you're not ready. But the message still stands. The energy is always here for you to utilize. This is one tarot message, but if you watch it in a year from now, you can still do this. It's saying you're capable of it, and universe endorses it. It's like universe supports this decision. So yeah, a lot of you may have a water sign that's already flirting with you or has a crush on you. I definitely get that. Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, just putting it out there. So yeah, that's exactly what this is. A lot of you, it's like, I want the match, I want the partnership, but especially my Leo, he's blocking me. His guard is up, his defenses are up. So try as I might to penetrate the wall, to dig in deeper, right? And as I said that, I'm thinking same-sex partnerships too, which, sure, that's here as well. This person, it's like they're saving themselves for someone else, even if that someone else is their children or their responsibilities or their job or their mother or their, whoever. They have their hands full too, and that's why they're not letting their walls down to be like, yes, Virgo, come to me, you're my person. Again, this is an energy reading. Energy changes all day, every day, all the time, right? But this isn't your job to change them. They have to come to that on their own terms. And I think you're shooting yourself in the foot by trying to will it into existence for them. You can will your future, your manifestations into existence, but not theirs. The best you can do is show up and be like, universe, send me someone good. Send me someone compatible. It's like, here's my wish list. Here's my ideal person. Send it to the universe, say your prayers, do your candle magic, whatever it is. It might be this person, but it might not be, and I think you need to be open to that. Okay, so this is really cool. I really, really love this. In your past, which I'm not going to dwell on because ultimately it's the past, there's nothing we can do to change it, there's a lot of messages of communication going back and forth, right? If ones represent communication as well as travel, it could be that I do get that there's distance here. You guys have to travel to see each other. I don't know if that makes sense to any of you. Anyway, it's Cupid's love arrows, right? I get the message that there's a lot of back and forth conversation, but it's not necessarily action to see one another as much as you would like anyway, right? I also sense, though, we don't really see the end result of these Cupid love arrows, and I do think there's again, this is not a revelation or an epiphany. If you were already feeling this, it's confirming what you were thinking or feeling. I think some of these messages are going to you, but again, they're going to other people too. There's 8 of them, right? So again, take it as you will. Maybe you're going, oh no, they were all mine. Those were all my love messages. Okay, maybe they were. I don't know. I'll be honest. My gut intuition says this person was communicating with multiple people at the same time. It doesn't have to be romantic, but they're Cupid's love arrows, so just putting it out there. Anyway, card of Sagittarius, by the way, there may have been on again, off again with a Sagittarius. No, never. A Sagittarius could never imagine such a thing. They're the players of the zodiac, but they're cute, aren't they? I get it. Anyway, moving on. So this is what I love. Here's what I was actually trying to get to is, it's so fun to communicate with this person. This person is silly and funny and flirty, and it's great. I get it. There's a good connection. I'm not denying that. However, in your highest vibration, Virgo, when you are firing on all cylinders, right? When you're showing up to your own life and you're making thoughts with clarity, with intelligence, and honoring yourself, honoring your intuition, your emotions, all that, your highest vibrational mind says, hold back that sword. Hold back the communication. So there's 2 messages here. It's saying don't go to war. Don't cut this person a new one out of anger or jealousy or share too much of you make me so sad and I hate when you don't do this and I really want. It's like don't be messy with the words. It's saying refrain from it entirely. I think it's saying refrain from communication, though he looks like he wants to, right? It's that impulse of it feels so good, but is it good for me? It's good for him, he loves getting those texts from you. I'm sure it makes his day and vice versa. I think it makes your day too. But is it healthy? Is it a good choice? That's what Page of Swords says is, I'm curious, I'm inquisitive, I want to discover this, I want to communicate that, I want to learn this. I think we've already learned this person's tune. We already kind of know how they play the game. And right now, the game is stagnant. It's going to continue to do what it's doing to you now, which, again, right now, there's a lot of blockages. There's a lot of obstacles here. I think your highest vibrational mind says as much as you would like to continue to pursue this person, it's saying you know better. Hold back. And I know it's hard, right? It's a page, it's a student. It's saying this is part of your learning process, again, about understanding boundaries. They seem to be setting them, or maybe they're not. I don't know. As I said that, I'm like, but are they setting good boundaries? I don't think you are, and that's what you're being asked to do. And take it easy on yourself, a day at a time. This is new territory for you, maybe. So it's saying, give yourself a break. If you slip up once and again and send the text, okay, Spirit's going to forgive you, and you can forgive yourself, right? You don't have to punish yourself for slipping up here and there, but make strides to improve. Be the student. Accept the knowledge and the learning of what the situation is doing to you mentally, physically, emotionally, and let's build from there. Let's do better for ourselves, for no one else. Your highest vibration says hold back, but to me it also says don't be feisty. Think through your communications. Don't just snap them off because it's the heat of the moment and you're angry or it's 2 a.m. and you're in bed all alone and you're feeling kind of feisty, right? Think about the communications you're sending forth and also think about the messages you're sending to this person or these people. All right, so I want to clarify this. Hopes and dreams. So what is your fear? I think your fear is that if you stop communicating with this person, they will stop communicating with you. And I think it's your fear because you know that will probably happen. But again, kind of feels like that would be good for you. Just putting it out there. Yeah, your hopes and goals as the universe sees them, right, is to grow from the page to the knight. Again, like the child to the teenager. This is saying be slow and steady. It's okay to cut yourself some slack, but go forward with a set intention, with a set goal. Stick to your words. If you say you're going to do something, if you make a promise to yourself, then fulfill that, right? And I'm only saying it's okay to cut yourself some slack because ultimately, being too critical or too pessimistic or just negative thoughts about yourself, that's not going to help the situation. You're already getting it because you're getting mixed signals. And so I think some of my Virgos may be like, well, am I not good enough? Like, what's wrong with me? Why doesn't he or she want me? It's not about that. It has nothing to do with that. That's this person's truth. It's not your truth. I think your goals need to be moving forward with newfound freedom. I see this card as freedom of thought, relieving yourself of old, sort of like pessimistic or lackluster thoughts about yourself because of what this relationship was doing to you. You win some, you lose some. You know who's going to win some? The Knight of Swords. He's got his sword of truth, his sword of victory. This is marching in triumphantly and confidently into that next chapter of your life. No mental baggage, no emotional baggage. Let's do the internal work so that we can kind of sever this off, right? He cuts with his weapon, right? Just done. Snip. We're done with that. I just saw a card of money, so it could be that all this mental energy you're putting towards dating or your person rather, you may want to invest that mental energy in a more lucrative source. I have to be honest, I feel like something involving your job is going to require a lot more of your mental endurance, so make sure you're sleeping well, make sure you're taking care of your body and all that, because it's like you need to be prepped for something greater. If for those applying to jobs, I see you getting some sort of job offer, but there's a few hoops you have to jump through. It's like you get the job interview, but then you may have to go back another time and another time. It's not as easy as, oh, here you go. But if you're willing to put in again the endurance, I think you may have like a foot in the door is sort of what I'm getting here. Yeah, there's this message of like going to battle, going to war, and I'm almost hearing it as pick your battles, choose your battles wisely. I don't think this is a battle worth fighting because it would be inauthentic for you to yell and scream at this person when you really love them. And I know sometimes when we get overwhelmed with emotions, sometimes we pop off and say things that we don't actually mean. And I almost think it will lead to more regret if you completely spill your heart out to this person. I think if anything, the walls are going to go up more like, oh shit, Virgo's kind of like losing it on me. And I'm not trying to offend. I am getting a message of it's not even worth it pouring your heart out to this person and giving them this, writing them a 9-page letter about I love you so much. And I just don't think it's an appropriate use of your time. Again, you can do whatever you want, but there's something about holding back on the communication entirely is going to be very important for you. So I'm struggling with this one card. I want to make sure I do it justice. So I think it's saying go to war in avenues of your life where there is an ability to get ahead. For a lot of you, it's career-wise. Some of you have a Cancer, as in like a water sign Cancer, who would fight for you, who's wanting to communicate something with you. The Sagittarius has started elsewhere. The Sagittarius is not in the picture here anymore. Okay, so the Sagittarius may have an addiction issue. It could be codependency or drug addiction or particularly alcohol addiction. I'm sure there was a goodness in their heart, but right now the Sagittarius needs to be cut loose for a very long time. They have their own spiritual path to go down, and unfortunately I don't see it with you, Virgo. This is also saying this is a brand new beginning in love, and before we start fantasizing about the Cancer or the Virgo or the Scorpio or whoever it is, this new chapter in love, it's again, newfound empowerment, Empress vibes in self-love, in healing our heartache. And I just gave Taurus a very tough love message about, you can't pour from an empty cup. As nice as it is to be in relationships and partnership, there's an avoidance to do some internal healing that I think constantly having a partner allows you to not look at that self or that part of yourself that you're a little bit self-conscious of or a little bit fearful of, or vulnerabilities that even stem from childhood. There's something about, I don't want to deal with that, so I'm just going to find my next partner. I like the serial dater. That's sort of what I get from this. And your goals should be taking a leap of faith in loving yourself. Temperance is Archangel Michael, so make this a relationship about loving yourself and devoting more time to your spirituality, to your, again, individual path. It's like it's you and God. It's the two of you, right? And I know that's kind of an unusual message. I'm not saying forever, but has this been your story? Have you been investing enough time in healing yourself? Ultimately, this is a card of healing. It's about staying grounded, 1 foot on land and 1 foot in the pool of intuition, right? With Temperance, I always notice the sun is dawning in the background. This is not like a cold, shadowy, I'm all by myself isolation card. It's not. There's still warmth. Look how bright and beautiful this is. That says to me this would actually be something you would enjoy if you would give yourself the benefit of trying it out. The sun is coming up in the background. So again, for some of you, you're Leo. If this truly is a Leo, they may have an epiphany. I'm not saying they won't. But again, your back is towards it. You're not focusing on it. You're not making it your main priority of, oh, they texted me. I got to text them back. Something about house property. Moving into a new apartment, a new house. Okay, so okay, thank you, Spirit. I get it now. This took me a minute because I was like, a message of concern. I don't get what that is. I do get what this is. So when you distance yourself from this person, I have to be honest, this isn't for everyone, but I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing, and it's this. This whole, I want to, but I can't, I want to, but I can't, it's because they're already married. Or they have side activity with someone who they're investing more time in than you. And I'm not even sure you know about this. Again, I just have to be honest. It may involve a Cancer as well. There could be a third party situation with a Cancer. And that's why they're so cagey. That's why they're so dodgy about letting you know too much or letting you into their life or meeting their children. Because this person, I do feel like they've chosen someone else. And when you cut off communication from them, right? When you stop spying on them, here's the kicker though. Somehow, in distancing yourself from this, you don't get a letter from them per se. There's a couple messages here. Some of you do. Some of you get a message saying, I understand, and it's probably free. It's almost like a letter of support, but it's the exact opposite effect as I think some of you are hoping for. Some of you are hoping by distancing yourself, they all of a sudden realize what they're missing. Like, oh my God, I love you and I want to come back. I have to be honest, I don't think it's that. Especially your Sagittarius, I think with distance, there may be some last interaction where it's like, you know what, I think that's really good for you, Virgo. Like, you know, I really value our friendship, but I totally understand your need for freedom because I need that too. So I think it's going to be like this, oh, like I'm almost hearing like the sizzle of the candle flame being snuffed out, just like, but it validates what universe is telling you that this is a dead end right now. Others of you, I'm getting this thing about you didn't realize why the blockages were there, and it's because this person was not ready to commit to you because they were, again, 1 foot in the door of committing to someone else. There may have been a shift in a household where your person who's blocking you, I don't know how this is, but you may get word that they're moving in with their husband or with their wife or with their lover or whoever, and you're just like, I'm almost getting jaw dropped. And again, your gut reaction may be to text them and pop off and be like, how dare you not tell me about this person? And you told me this. And the universe is saying, it is not worth it. Like, allow this person's true colors to come to the surface without you having to pry it out of them. You are going to see with absolute clarity, bright yellow, this person's character when you distance yourself from it. And I know that seems like an opposing message. Like, well, if I'm not there, if I'm not on Facebook, how am I going to know? Universe will find a way of allowing you to know, but it's almost like you have to earn it. You have to, again, do that thing in your headspace of, I'm the student now, but I've made a decision and I'm going to follow through and I'm going to keep practicing this new habit and I'm going to grow into the knight, then the queen, then the king. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to get better at sticking to your guns. And then there's your guns, right? It's almost like you've reached a certain point, and I'm almost hearing Spirit say, let her rip. And somehow, I don't know, maybe you haven't checked Facebook in a while or whatever it is. There's going to be this, are you kidding me? That's what this person was doing the whole time? Virgo, I'm not trying to condemn you or your person, but there's something very off about this. I don't get a good vibe from this. Oh, and look at you. I love this card though. There's something very off about this, and I'm red flags, a lot of them. So let's grow. Let's start as the page, and then let's grow into the knight. Yeah, let's do that. That should be goals. Hashtag goals. Let's grow into the Knight of Swords. Intellect, intelligence, details, facts, figures. Let's make head over heart decisions, right? Let's be skillful with how we communicate and what we communicate and who we communicate to. Coming in your future, you graduate. You're the Queen of Swords now. This is like my no bullshit queen. Like, don't give me your bullshit. Like, let's stick to the facts and figures. Like, what do I need to know? Now, underneath this kind of cold exterior, right, she is ruled by Venus energy, right? There's a great element of Libra in this, which is, I've been saying Venus, art, music, beauty, love. It's very, very much related to the Empress, which you have going on there. You may have new communication with someone of a higher vibration, right? Again, I would take the message of this is your time to heal yourself and to maybe, spend a few months dating yourself. I really think that would be tremendously healthy for you. But then you may end up getting communication with someone where you're like, oh, I'm interested in this. I want to pursue this more. Again, making strong decisions on who you're communicating with and how much you're communicating, right? What needs to be communicated versus what wants to be communicated. Coming in the future, yeah, you free yourself. Hell yeah, Virgo. This is like my favorite message ever. You've held the key the entire time. It's like you were shackling yourself there because, again, it was sentimentality. There was nostalgia. There was potentially rose-tinted glasses. And again, I get it, Virgo. I get it, but it doesn't mean it's healthy, and you need to come to that decision yourself. But you wield the sword, right? You hold the key that can literally pick the lock of your self-made prison. You're out of there, baby. You're out of there. And again, the 2 and the 9 make 11. That makes me think of justice, fairness, equality, rebalancing the scales, recalibrating your internal self, right? Freedom. Freedom from this nuisance that's kind of just been dragging on and on and on. It won't get better unless you want it to. So again, that's you needing to take action on what you feel is necessary here. How you should be seeing yourself is committed to your own path, committed to your spiritual path. How others see you? Absolutely. 9 of Pentacles. You are valuable. She's like a notch below my Queen of Pentacles, right? So this is saying you're on your way, but you continue to grow from here. Again, this is not the ending of the story. This is not where the story ends, or like the chapter ends with this person, but you're on to bigger and better things. This is knowing your value and your worth, and it's also an excellent money card. Venus and Virgo. This is about loving yourself. And that shows, when you do the internal work, it shows externally, and other people see you as, now that's a girl who knows what she wants. Now that's a guy who knows what he's, like, it's not a gender thing. It's the idea of, look at all that I have built for myself on my own accord. Look at all that I have accomplished. Look at all the personal victories I have to celebrate. I didn't need a man to do this. I didn't need a girl to do, like, do you understand? This is about independence and being self-made. The self-made man, the self-made woman. And it is my single ladies card. I'm just putting it out there. So the thing is, Virgo, try as you might. I really encourage you to not rush into a new relationship. But again, you're going to do what you want to do. If you actually do the work and get your head out of this prison, this mental prison of who am I if I don't have a cohort, if I don't have a co-pilot, if I don't have a lover, a husband, a wife, there's this self-confidence issue about I always need to be with someone or it makes me look bad. When you step into this dynamic of like, I can do bad all on my own, like I'm happy just being me, you're not going to be single for very long because people are going to want to jump on this, right? But make sure you're accepting people in your life for the right reasons. You are the 10 of Pentacles. This never had anything to do with this person. And I know in distance, with space and distance from this, I think you're going to see that with more clarity. I know you're questioning it right now. He looks very indecisive of, I want to, but can I? Am I strong enough? I still love them. Again, Work through your thoughts. Rather than not thinking about them entirely because it makes you uncomfortable, address the shadow side. Where are you codependent? What and who are you fearful of? If I stop, will they stop loving me? If I disconnect, will they forget about me? Again, that's you living in a state of fear. That's not your higher vibration. Your higher vibration says we can solve this. We are very smart. We are very intelligent. We got this. Even though you may be shaking in your boots, even more like you will step forward with, even if you have to fake the confidence is what I'm saying. Your overall outcome is you need to look internally rather than pushing blame or taking on this role as victim. How could this have happened to me? My heart is broken. Your feelings are valid. I totally understand. It feels like maybe some of you got played. If you remove yourself from the situation, the devil exists within all of us. And I mean the tarot card, right? The shadow side. We are a beautiful harmony, balance, Libra, equilibrium of dark and light energies, of masculine and feminine, of yin and yang. It seems like the shadow side, the darker energy, the fear, the codependency, the addiction, the anxiety, whatever it is, you may have given up your power to the darker side of your personality. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means you're struggling, and that's why, because your internal clock or your internal balance, it's kind of kiltered. It's weighing heavily on pessimism or darkness or self-criticism, a lack of confidence, a need to have someone telling you that you're good enough. Your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to really look at your shadow side and do the work. The demon in your closet, so to say, might be lower vibrational you. I don't think it's someone else. I mean, more or less, yes. But you can't solve this person's problems for them. You're only accountable for solving your own problems. And that's what universe is advising, to do the spiritual work on yourself. Realizing, your advice or guidance too, realizing that you've always been the 10 of Pentacles. With or without someone, you are very important. You deserve people to treat you well, to know your worth and know your value. And again, it's not your job to teach them that. Either they see it or they don't. And if they don't, then that's their loss. If that's their truth, it's not your truth. All right, release what isn't serving you. Allow things to die out organically. It's almost like trying to revive something that is dead, possibly with the Leo, card 19. Anyway. All right, Virgo, I believe in you. I know this was tough love. Take it with a grain of salt and give it time, right? These are a lot of messages I'm throwing at you all at once, and I know it kind of feels like I'm beating you up. That's not my goal. That's not my intention. I am rooting for my Virgos. I have a lot of beautiful Virgos in my life. So anyway, I did hope this helped some of you out there. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye, guys.